Oh, I thought that would take a little bit longer. Took a sip of my drink, and I'm like, oh, we're going to be live in 2 seconds more. But nope.
No, I forgot to turn my phone down. Sorry.
Chatterbox is back again. Let's see. We are live works.
Why not? Whatever you want to refer to us as.
Retweet. I just retweet all the auto tweet because when you can set it up when you launch a video on YouTube that it automatically tweets out. You can connect it to your Twitter account. And so I have an Untitled Studios Twitter account that has like no followers.
All right.
That tweets it out, but I'm one of the followers. It's like I'm one of the 10 people that follow the Twitter. And
yeah, so, I'm one of the 10 too. So
yeah, it's very few. So I just try to retweet everything on that just to make it a little easier.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. No, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll go. No, I was just going to say at the beginning there, I didn't mean to step on you. I realized as soon as you went live that I hadn't turned my phone down because I got the alert on my phone for you going live.
Is that why I went beep?
Yeah, it was the alert for you, for us going live on my phone, dude.
Nice. Oh, I have the biggest, most important news in the world to start us off with.
All right. What do you got?
The link here. I'm going to open a couple of tabs right here, but this first one this is amazing. I don't think anybody is going to be able to handle it at all.
Yeah, sounds huge. Don't build it up.
Big news. The weight of the world. Stop autoplaying video. Fuck you, video. I hate every video that autoplay on sites, even if it's like news. It's like, you are a website. You are not the news.
Right.
All right, here we go. So Taylor Swift has had a mysterious disappearance from social media.
Wow.
And people have been going apeshit.
So it's not even a real life disappearance, just she's disappeared from social media.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift disappearance.
Yeah, she just it all or like what is it? Around 11 a.m. Eastern, so this would be on the 18th of August, so 2 days ago.
Right.
All of her Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr, and her official website, she disappeared from.
Mm-hmm.
She's been relatively quiet on social media all year. That just seems like fucking insanity to me.
Right.
She broke her tradition of releasing an album every October. So her tradition of 2 years, because she released 2 albums, one in
every other October. Okay. Yeah,
I think that's only 2 albums though. Like I think literally she released like 1 album in October, and then 2 years later, in the next October, she released another album. She maybe released another one. I don't know. I don't care.
So it may only. Right. Oh man.
So theory 1, they figure she might have gotten hacked.
Mm.
I don't remember what the photo or video has been removed from Instagram thing is about. I didn't read the article. Theory number 2, she's announcing a new album. And so here's the funny thing. So a lot of people have been looking at the source code of her website and finding weird shit in the source code and being like legit, like they're going through the source code. And this is, you don't have to hack the website for anybody who does it. You don't actually have to hack a website to find that. You can usually load it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. If you go on there, you can go. Where is it? There's a debugging thing you can do where you can literally look at the source code on the bottom of your web browser. I just don't know how to open it up because I'm not that savvy. Mm-hmm. I've done it by accident a few times.
Oh, right. But either way, it's not hard to do, generally.
No.
But the fact that people are actually opening it up and fucking searching through it for...
Yeah, I think it's you view the source. Yeah, you view the page source, and you can go and look through all the scripts and stuff that are running and find that if you want to. It's really not, like, it's like a right-click thing. It's not hard.
Right.
Theory number 3, she's performing with Katy Perry at the VMAs, Video Music Awards ceremony. I don't know what the VMAs are.
Video Music Awards?
Oh, it is. It's MTV's Video Music Awards. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Theory is that she's going to be performing there, but I would have assumed there was apparently a beef between them. God, I don't know why anybody would have a beef between them. How do fucking celebrities get mad at each other like that shit? Like,
they have nothing better to do. It's probably. I wonder. It'd be hilarious if it was mostly their fans getting pissed at each other, and then they get pissed at each other after the fans.
Well, the weird thing is, it's almost never like an in-person fight. It's almost always like
yeah, it's always on Twitter or fucking third-person fights, third-person spats between celebrities.
Oh yeah. And fucking just so Engelhardt knows, I lit everything up with candles in my room.
That sucks.
So
all that effort wasted.
Double fooey on him.
You shouldn't let it out. You could have saved it for.
It's pretty funny. Theory number 4: Taylor Swift is done with us. She just got sick and tired of the fucking social media and went off of it.
She got tired of breaking up with boyfriends and writing albums. She's breaking up with her fans and writing albums.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh no! What is it? Stop!
The Infinite.
I keep forgetting to turn that off before I go to the hangout. My theory: she just wanted a fucking break. She's just like, I just need to take a vacation from all this crazy shit and not fucking be on my phone 24/7. I'm gonna go somewhere remote. I'm just gonna have a like a personal chef cook my food every day and go hang out with my friends.
Enjoy being rich generally. Nah.
Yeah, I mean every once in a while you really like. I think the constant drive, especially with like musicians and stuff, to have like a new album every year, every other year, it's a little ridiculous. And it kind of leads. It's part of what leads into like that. I don't know if you know. There's like 3 Swedish dudes and like 1 Norwegian lady write like all the hit music. Like,
I remember you telling me that, dude. Telling us that the other time.
And so I imagine that's part of what leads to that is the fact that they got these, artists that you can't turn out really good art in that time period, but you got these people that write the same kind of music for everybody. So that they don't have to actually do the real creative work of making a new album. So that you buy songs from a bunch of songwriters, and then they figure, for 12 songs, you want to have at least 2 really good hits so that you can make singles, so that's what you're going to make your money on, because it's not about album sales anymore. It's about singles.
Right.
There's going to be some diehard fans. You're always going to have album sales. But, for the most part, it's just people are going to buy like the 1 or 2 good songs that you paid extra money to have the hit writers write.
Right.
So, I wonder if that's part of it.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like there's like it all seems really formulaic nowadays. So it doesn't seem like there should take that long to put out an album anymore. But who knows? Plus, I mean, it's only been 2 days, right? Did I hear that correctly? It's just been 2 days.
Yeah, it's been about 2 days.
Okay. And so she wasn't doing much anyway, and then it just happens to be a 2-day period, and people are fucking freaking out, like it's an X-Files episode or something.
Yeah. So in total, she's probably been offline for about, I would figure, oh gosh. I didn't put a link in here. Sorry, I just realized I didn't put a link on Skype. But yeah, it's been a total of 2 days, so I don't understand.
Yeah, that's just fanatical, especially fanatical. I mean, fans. Again, the word fan is short for fanatic, but still, you guys are getting a little carried away, even for that.
But here's the thing, man. I find 90% of celebrities fucking are just disappointing.
Yeah,
I don't want to be. If it's somebody who...
Very uninteresting.
Yeah. Comedians, by and large, I find are actually more entertaining, and more of their art form is about who they are.
Right.
So I would definitely love to meet a lot of the comedians I really like.
Yeah.
But as far as a lot of the musicians and stuff, man, there's very few of the ones that the pop music ones that I'd want to meet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're that interesting.
Yeah, most of them are pretty vapid and shitty anyway, dude. There's very few deep thinkers like there used to be. back in the day.
Yeah.
As far as music, like you listen to the fucking lyrics, they're all basic bullshit. You know, there's nothing deep or profound about what's going on nowadays.
Oh, man, would you hear that? What was it? This chick wrote a country song that was essentially like she just went through the litany of like these are the beats that every country music song hits, and it was just like, and she did the statistics, like she went through like all these different country songs and just listened to all of them, and like trucks were mentioned this many times, and like so she just hit all those beats.
Right.
Country song, it's pretty fucking funny. But I think that applies to all music. Like I don't think that's just. I think that's probably all pop music at this point.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
any genre pretty much. You know.
Well, even rap music. I was listening to some people talking about rap music today, and they were talking about how like it used to be, you know, a black music genre, and like white people would try to sound black when they did it, but like you know, it was really kind of hard to capture the same tone or whatever. But now it's like a lot of black people trying to sound white to rap.
Wow. That's crazy.
Percocet and shit.
Oh man, that's insane, dude.
I don't even know if that's true. I think that's maybe one of the more ridiculous things, but you know, who knows?
Yeah, maybe they're just being themselves. Maybe they don't sound quote unquote black. Maybe they're just fucking. Oh yeah, although. Yeah. If that's true, that's fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh man, so
and sad.
I don't know if anybody knows who Tranime Girl is. I don't know the link to her GoFundMe or PayPal, but look her up, Tranime Girl, on YouTube. If you want, check her stuff out. She's pretty funny. Had to move into a van apparently recently.
Oh wow!
And it's fascinating for me because I'm generally not a huge social justice warrior like video watching person. I don't watch a lot of politics and stuff. I do watch some, and I try to get a fair balance between left and right wing. But most of what I watch are like van life and survival and prepping videos and like tiny house videos. So van life is this thing. There's this new movement, and it's a lot of people who are moving into their van intentionally.
Right.
They're finding various ways to make money that they don't have to actually work at a physical location. So it's a lot of people who are doing like, you know, web design or accounting.
Actually, my brother works for Amazon and works from home, so it would work pretty much the same for that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a ton of different things. You could be like support, you know, customer support anywhere you can get internet.
Right.
You can, you know, or a phone line, and you can actually get pretty decent quality internet through like a Verizon or a AT&T hotspot. Even if you're out in the boonies, out of like campgrounds and stuff.
Yeah. Basically, as long as you get a cell signal, usually you can use your phone. You can even just use your. I mean, they have separate devices, or they did. I don't know if they still do, but just your phone itself can be a hotspot, dude.
Yeah, and then people are doing that, and essentially it works out pretty well in their favor because they're not paying rent and they're not paying a mortgage, living in the van, and they're traveling from place to place and checking all these cool places.
Yeah. That's freaking awesome, dude.
You know, the extra money for like the internet really isn't that much. Doesn't even compare to the money they're saving on rent.
Right.
Because your cost of living is so much lower, so you only have to really work part time, and you know, it's crazy stuff. And some people just do like day labor. You know, where you go to like there's places you go for like you just go there, you go to whatever job they have for the day, you go do that job.
Right.
And they're usually just like, you know, fucking pavement, land breaks, digging ditches, that kind of shit. But
yeah, all the people that stand outside of Home Depot, basically.
Except you're going to an office and signing up for it and doing everything above board and paying taxes.
Right.
Which arguably maybe stupider. Given, you know, this would probably make more money standing outside of Home Depot and getting in a van.
Right, getting paid in cash under the table.
Yeah, exactly. But they'll do that like 2 or 3 days a week, and then the other, you know, 3 or 4 days a week, they'll just go and like hang out at like campgrounds or hike up in national parks and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be freaking awesome. You just have to make sure that you know you're going to be somewhere where there's a decent signal or whatever. But yeah, beyond that, it's pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
Well, you know, if you really think about it, you know, if you get one of the bigger vans, one of the ones that's got a little bit taller that you can actually stand up in, though a lot of people live in the ones you can't. If you got enough room for a bed, you can rig up pretty decent little porta potties in there. Worst case scenario, you can literally just use like a bucket. They have toilet seats that just fit on like those 20-gallon, 5-gallon buckets from like Home Depot.
Yeah. We use that when we go camping. We're usually somewhere where there's facilities, but if we're going somewhere where it's not, that's just fucking comes and works really well.
And then they even sell like double-walled plastic bags specifically for that use.
Yeah,
you like poop and pee into the bag, you tie off the bag, and if you're really worried, you can put it in more bags, however many you feel you need.
Right. However many levels you need between you and your filth.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is if you keep the bags in the bucket, I don't really think you need extra bags, but, people are weird about stuff.
Yeah, especially if it's double walled to begin with, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And they're designed for it. Like, they're specifically designed to hold urine and feces. It's not like it's, a regular trash bag. That might be.
Yeah, it's not like it's the thickness of a fucking shopping bag or something,
Yeah. And the way I figure, you just tie them off and stick them in the bottom of the bucket, and just when the bucket gets full enough, you just go dump it in the trash or wherever you're supposed to.
Right.
And anybody who thinks that's a concern, realize how many people throw their cat poop in the trash.
Right.
Trash. So if you think it's weird throwing human poop in the trash, get over it, because it's really not that weird.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, doesn't everybody? I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do with cat shit, but I assume you're supposed to fucking.
Oh, I don't think it matters. It's all going to get decomposed.
Yeah, it'd be actually more helpful.
Give me just a sec here.
Oh.
Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold, so occasionally I'm going to cough or something. I'm going to mute so I don't cough
right on.
in the microphone. Trying to be very well about that. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do that are just fine living in a van, and it can be very enjoyable for people. But if you don't want to live in a van, and I can understand that,
right,
that's very bad. But so check out our YouTube channel. Anybody, Tranime Girl, TRANIME space GIRL.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I remember interacting with Tranime Girl on a lot of live streams and shit. She seemed really fucking cool.
So she seems cool, and she does a lot of anti-SJW stuff that a lot of people seem to really get into, and no harm in that.
Yeah, I don't think I realized that she. Am I subbed to her? I didn't realize she made videos, dude.
Yeah, she makes videos now. She wasn't going to do it for a long time, but then people were talking to her, and basically were like, "Look, you're a transvestite. You're conservative. You don't really, go for a lot of this giving kids hormones thing, and you should really speak out, because there's a lot of people who won't listen to conservatives but might listen to you because you're trans." I think people convinced her, and then she eventually went out and did it, and she does pretty good videos. So
I was not subscribed, so appreciate you bringing it up, because I subscribed to her.
Yeah, definitely worth a look. But I just thought that was kind of a weird situation and ironic, because I sent her links to a bunch of channels. I don't know if she's ever going to check them out, but the channels,
ones,
they literally talk about all the different ways you can do, like the basic things you need to do on a daily basis in a van.
All right.
Shower, how you can use the bathroom, things you can use to build whatever kind of thing you need, how to cook safely, how to keep your van warm, how to keep your van cool.
Yeah.
And all for super cheap, because these are people who are like, we live off the lowest amount of money possible.
Right.
And the van thing is
far off the grid as possible.
Yeah, the van thing is new, and a lot of people will the only thing they really invest in is solar power. They'll put 2 or 3 solar panels up on top of the van. That's enough to charge 3 or 4 batteries. 3 or 4 really good batteries, and we're talking like $500 batteries if you'd get them. But you save up, and you don't have to buy it again for like 10 or 15 years.
Right.
But that's enough to give you power to run a computer, keep your phone charged, run a small water pump if you put an actual, like an RV water tank in your van. You can even get some people get showers in there with water pumps and all that kind of stuff. They really can. Some people kit it out really fucking fancy style with a sink and a stove and a counter and cupboards and whatnot, and the bed. But at the very least, you can fairly easily get some solar lights, little solar lanterns for camping and stuff. Just keep them on your front dashboard during the day, and then at night you can light the back end of your van up.
Right.
charge your computer and your phone at like a coffee shop or something. It's usually super easy and nobody really complains.
Right.
Just buy the cheapest coffee and sit there for like, an hour screwing around on their internet and charging all your devices.
Right.
Usually good for a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed that they let people do that shit. But I'm glad. It's good they do, obviously. But
I've had business.
Hey, can you plug in and charge? Well, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, or the writers out there that are writing their novel at Starbucks or whatever need to plug in their laptop and be able to write.
Like legitimately, so there's been a couple times when I filed grievances with the union, and these are like actual legal interactions. Like I'm meeting with a guy from the labor board to give a deposition, essentially, at a fucking Starbucks. And homeboy has like a fucking tape recorder, a printer, his computer, and just sets up a little fucking mobile business office at a goddamn Starbucks and plugs it on into the fucking outlet, uses their internet, and we have the whole thing over a couple cups of coffee that he pays for.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that's a good idea, man. Yeah.
So if they're not going to complain about that, they're not going to give a shit about you fucking typing your version of Moby Dick or whatever fucking novel you're writing.
Right. Well, yeah, they are actually. I guess Starbucks and coffee houses in general are the first ones to recognize the allure or the draw of fucking having Wi-Fi at your business, too. And now it seems like it's fucking everywhere, like McDonald's and shit. Like those types of places now have Wi-Fi.
It's the free market.
Pretty much anywhere you go. Like it's kind of hard to get outside of Wi-Fi at this point.
Yeah, everybody wants it. Everybody wants it. Oh, good. No, okay, they can't hear us. I just had a minute because William popped in the chat. Akinara's here as well, but William popped in the chat and he was like, crickets. And I'm like, oh shit, are we not being heard? Is the audio not going out? Oh shit. Does that literally mean we just spent?
Oh, it was just lonely. It was just lonely in the chat.
Minutes. Just 20 minutes of just fucking ours pictures flashing back and forth, but no actual sound.
Right. Like obviously they're saying some things, but whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like those assholes are talking. You know what? This is the same quality. I whether we hear them or not, it's just as good. Yeah.
They're words, not words, whatever. Just as long as they're alternating their little icons, it's good. Make up your own stuff. It's probably better than what we're doing, guys. So
yeah, we're just the lights and the colors. Keep me occupied. We jangle some keys. Arkano, I do got to say to Arkano, at some point you will get your lullaby when I don't have a weird cold thing going and my throat isn't killing me all the time.
And when I get the lyrics, ahead of time. So I can't seem to remember.
The reason I had to cancel or shut down the last hangout as early as I did was just like my throat was killing me. Plus, I had that new desk out in the front yard.
All right, yeah. First, I feel after he got off, because he cut it short pretty quick. I was like, of course he wants to get off. He's got a desk sitting outside that he doesn't know what to do with. Yeah. Like you're telling me that, and it's not registering that you might want to cut this shit short. Well,
and it wasn't even. I figured that was within the range of when it was supposed to be delivered, but I assumed it would be at the end of like the 21st, like today when it would get delivered. So I didn't anticipate it being delivered, but I should have known that the one time during the day when I really was like busy doing something that I really didn't want to just walk away from and do something.
And that's when it's showing up.
Show up, yeah.
Well, at least it was almost a couple hours into it, and it wasn't too bad.
Oh yeah, no, we got a full hangout in. It was just one of those things where I was like, oh, I feel so bad just shutting it off right now because it's so interesting.
Yeah. Dude, that reminds me. I'm glad you told me about the Traname girl too, but Sticks and Hammer. You turned me on to him too, or however the fuck you say it, dude. yeah. I had heard that. I'd heard of him for a while, but for some reason I never subscribed. But yeah, that dude's pretty on point, and it seems like he just does it off the top of his head, dude. It's fucking weird.
Well, and the thing is, he's not entirely so he's not 100% neutral, but he's not super.
He's not super biased.
Yeah, he does a really good job at sort of like yeah, I'm a little, conservative in this area, a little left leaning in this area, but he'll let you know when he's giving us political commentary, like, I'm biased in this, so take what I say with a grain of salt.
Right. Yeah, and his predictions are pretty much what I was kind of. Because how he's talking about, to fucking spell it out, dude. Jesus, it is a weird name, dude. Yeah, and once I got over the times when he's shooting with the leather jacket with no undershirt, once I got over the shock of that, I was good.
Well,
like, dude, why are you doing that?
On the occult.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch any of the other videos on the occult, they're actually kind of fascinating. He doesn't believe in like magic per se, in as much as just like, so it's hard to explain. Sort of like how memes catch on in real life. So like, by having enough people doing the same, giving out the same information and talking about the same things, you can create like a buzz about something. That would be like a magical thing, essentially. It's sort of like, we don't have other terms for it yet.
Right.
But the mystical stuff I don't necessarily agree with, but it's definitely fascinating because it's not like the Eye of New bullshit. There's no chakras, there's none of that stuff. It's more of a study of like ancient beliefs than it is of actual like his personal belief in magic.
Right.
So
yeah, I'll have to check it out. Like I said, I just barely started actually watching his videos because you had said something about him the last time.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, this guy's fucking pretty on point with his his analysis and that. Which is, it's kind of what I thought. I mean, he's more convinced of it, like as far as like Google and all these ones kind of destroying themselves, and being anti-free speech is going to fuck them up, that kind of shit. Like, he's pretty certain, and I'm still afraid that it's not going to happen, like that they are going to fucking get away with being fucking leftist assholes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think this new thing, one of the things is, you really got to keep in mind that a lot of the information we're getting from both the left and the right wing are from the same people that said Trump had a 99% chance of winning. So they were blatantly lying about that. They were misrepresenting the fact. They were misrepresenting the will of the people. I don't know that all the news saying he's going to get, they're gonna just, what do you call it, impeach him and then remove him from office, and all this other stuff is going to happen, and the left's going to take over Congress. I think the opposite is going to happen. I think people are getting really sick of the lies. Take this whole thing that's still going on in the news. People are still fucking mad about the thing in Virginia, the Charlottesville thing. He had really measured, reasonable, rational responses to it, and ones that I 100% agree with. There were fucking hateful people on both sides. Everybody showed up for a big fight. Maybe the right wing wasn't planning on attacking anyone, but they were definitely prepared for a fight. And that whole situation was bad.
Right.
And there was, there were good guys and bad guys on both sides, and we need to look at it and figure out what's going wrong, and figure out how we can start preventing this kind of thing in the future, and coming together as people. I don't know, that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good shit, man.
And he said it just did.
Although, yeah, especially, dude, the shit that happened in Boston, dude. Holy shit, man. I love how there's still a lot of the.
I didn't see much about that.
Well, yeah, they're still trying to spin it as, Antifa's the fucking heroes, and it's like, dude, no alt-right, or I shouldn't say alt-right, no fucking, or almost no, like, white nationalists or fucking neo-Nazis or whatever were there. In fact, I think the initial thing was set up by some guy, like, from India, an Indian from India had set it up, with stuff. Basically, there just wasn't any. Essentially, there was no
an actual free speech rally.
Yeah, exactly. And they still tried to spin it as that it being this white supremacist thing, and that Antifa were the heroes. there's still quite a few news outlets that were trying to do that, and now it's coming out that like, no, dude, they're fucking thugs, and they're just fucking attacking people because they had the wrong haircut and they looked like they might be neo-Nazis, dude.
Well, and then the thing that gets me is Antifa has been very straightforward with their fucking crazy plan. You know, they want to force communism, and they even talk about how like the left wings are going to get the bullet too, like the fucking
yeah,
you know, like they're like progressives get the bullet too. So it's like if you're not a full-on anarchist / communist, I don't know how they make the mutually exclusive thing work in their head, because those are mutually exclusive concepts.
Yeah,
one does not allow for the other.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know,
obviously
supporting them are the first to be lined up on the fucking wall and shot if they win.
Yeah. I don't know if they think that if they appease them they'll be okay, or if they really think they're good people. I don't know what the fuck the angle is, dude.
I think it's a smokescreen. I think it's a smokescreen, like Korea. North Korea was a smokescreen. Everybody's talking about how we're going to go to war with North Korea. Now you don't fucking hear anything about North Korea.
Right.
North Korea has nukes failed. This is going to fail.
Right.
The Russia thing failed, and these are all just smokescreens to show keep people from looking at they're not doing what the people want in Congress. Both sides.
Right. They're not getting anything done
to prevent Trump from putting any of the things that he said he wanted to put into effect, which is what, by and large, the people want. Trump wants to do a lot of stuff that the left people probably want to. They just won't listen to him actually talk.
Yeah.
Like
they wouldn't recognize that, even if it was exactly what they want. They wouldn't recognize it because, they don't fucking. If it's coming from Trump, it's got to be evil. Like that's the fucking attitude, man.
About any sort of laws against any group of people. Like there's going to be no death squads hunting transvestites and gay people through the streets. That's not going to happen. He's always been talking about keeping some sort of social medical care system like Obamacare in place, but he wants to repeal it and make it more effective and less expensive and less useless.
Right.
Because really, it fucks people over right now in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And then just basically like he wants to make small businesses stronger, which should be something that the left wing wants if they were still like normal like Democrats. I don't know like how far around that horseshoe fucking bend they've gone at this point.
Right.
But small businesses used to be a big thing with the left wing. I don't know if they are anymore. Or if people are just supposed to get magic jobs that don't have fucking employers. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I assume maybe Democrats in general probably still care, but the elected officials probably don't. You know what I mean? Like,
there's so much shady shit going on that people just don't pay attention to, and it goes on with the left and the right wing. But a lot of it comes from the left wing.
Yeah.
For instance, I follow the tiny house thing, and so a lot of people are moving into what are called tiny houses, which are generally 250 square foot and smaller houses. So you get all of the amenities, and because you're building on a much smaller scale, you can actually make much more luxurious items available, like solar power for the whole house, catching rainwater, and being pretty much off grid, and needing very little assistance from the grid, so it's very little in the way of monthly bills.
Right.
And make it very affordable. Like there's a lot of them you can get for like $50,000. Where you can get the majority of everything built for you, and you just have to put on like a solar system, which would probably be another $5,000 to $10,000. And then you can hook it up like with basic trailer hookups for like RVs, anything like that, or like trailer hookups for like a trailer park kind of thing. But it's a really nice like a house looking thing.
Yeah, or the people that make them out of like old fucking shipping containers and shit like that.
There's a million and one different ways to do it, but they've systematically tried to make them illegal because there's no profit margin. It's not something big business can get in and produce. There's no precedent for that.
What's the rationale? I mean, they can't come out and say
they're not safe,
that's the reason.
They're going to create slumlords, or it's not safe, and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, people are willing to move into these small spaces. They're not much smaller than. They're actually in a lot of cases bigger than a lot of apartments in like big cities like New York and San Francisco. You actually more room in a tiny house than you would in those major cities. And they're using zoning codes, building codes, and all these other things to say, well, they're not safe. They're in the wrong zone. You can't build them here, and blah blah blah. And so there's a lot of pushback against that because they're not real profitable. And it takes the rent out of a lot of people's pockets. There's a lot of real slumlords that won't get their money if tiny houses are put into place.
Right.
And that's one thing. Another thing that happens a lot is people talk about gentrification, and you'll hear a lot of right-wing people talk about it as though it's a good thing, and a lot of left-wing talk about it as it's a bad thing. And what it really depends on is how it's done. Are people buying property on the up and up from people who are willing to sell, and then converting that into better housing and stores and making it into a better area? Or are they using what do they call
foreclosures?
No, it's actually worse than that. I'm trying to remember. It's when the government seizes land.
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain. So what they'll do is they'll declare an area a disaster area, and then they can use eminent domain, and they'll seize a bunch of the properties with eminent domain, which means the people have to sell it for a fraction of
whatever. Right, whatever they decide to give them, basically.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And then they'll just give it to their rich buddy for half the cost, half of what they even got, paid for it. And then their rich buddies can come in and make a huge amount of money remodeling and turning it over and making it into super upper class neighborhoods. So that form of gentrification is bullshit. That's real fucked up stuff.
Yeah, that's predatory bullshit. Yeah.
And it's stealing from people.
Right.
Whereas the natural, over time, an area just becomes more upper class. Right. Generally because, first the artists move there because they're poor and that's where they can afford to live. And then the fucking wealthy people want to be near the artists because they want to feel like they're cool, even though they're a bunch of fucking losers socially.
Right. Fucking yuppies.
Yeah, so they'll go move towards where the artists are because they want to be hip and happen in like the artists. And then slowly it just changes the neighborhood into a better neighborhood with less crime.
Yeah, yeah. Or the gay guys move in and just fix everything up, dude.
Or synagogues. Jewish synagogues will go in and buy up all the properties pretty regularly. They'll buy up all the nearby properties and resell them to the Jewish families.
Oh, yeah.
They don't usually force anyone out. They'll just. Yeah, there's the opposite. Yeah, Williams Newcomer has a point. Some areas that have a lot of crime drives out people, and in those cases, I can understand declaring them a disaster area and taking extreme steps to clean up the crime. But I don't think that they should be able to just take away people's houses and give them to rich people. I think the rich people have to actually pay the value of the house.
Right. Yeah, some areas like most of Detroit comes to mind, where it's just fucking abandoned, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if I do an actual cop drop.
That worth a shot.
Yeah, my fucking throat's killing me already. I'm not stopping though. Never give up.
Soldier on, buddy.
Soldier on. There's that kind of thing with the gentrification. So there's a lot of weird, shifty stuff that goes on that nobody fucking talks about, really. You don't really hear from either side that they don't. Eminent domain is supposed to be specifically for something that really is genuinely for the greater good and has to be there. So a freeway has to go through there, or they need to build a federal building or a state building or something.
Right.
And it has to be located in that spot.
Yeah, I think that happened here in Phoenix or in the Phoenix metro area. They were putting in these freeway loops to 3 different loops, You know, one of them pretty small, one a little wider, one even wider than that, or whatever, around the whole, you know, Phoenix metro area. And there was an area along one of the roads where they had to do that to, you know, clear out room for whatever. But yeah, it was something that was, you know, some people were upset, but for the most part, you know, people recognized the necessity of how bad traffic was getting, you know, 20 years ago here,
Yeah.
and you know, acted accordingly.
Well, I think there's a solution to eminent domain. Number one, it has to be assessed by an independent assessment. So it can't be somebody related to the government. It can't be somebody related to the people who own the property. It can't be somebody with a vested interest in the outcome.
Right, right.
And then the government has to pay 3 times the market value.
Yeah.
So you're forcing somebody off of property that they own.
Yeah.
That they
that should be the case anytime that happens.
Then you should have to pay them a substantial amount of money for it, because the government should have to really hurt to take away somebody's property.
Right, right.
And I think that would make a big difference in how it's done.
Yeah. I think it should be illegal to be able to set what price you give them if you're fucking taking their land. That's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah,
it should be something that should really fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you can fight it in court, but you will very likely lose unless you have millions of dollars and years of time to spend fighting it in court.
Right. Being able to afford lawyers that'll out-lawyer the other lawyers.
What you have to do is you have to disprove that it's for the good of the community.
Right.
It has become very loose in its legal definition, and it's very difficult to prove that it's not for the good of the community, even if it's just literally like high-rise apartments for rich folks. Like super, fancy apartments and shit that are only going to be for like the top 10% of the people in the city, and no one else is going to be able to live.
Well, it'll be good for the community that will be there. You know, like that's fucked up.
Yeah, I think some places force them to build like 30% low-income housing for. So essentially, every 7 high-rise apartments, they got to put in like 3 low-income apartments, and those are real shitholes that they build.
Oh wow, it's crazy.
But like you don't see that getting talked about. It's just all about fucking like immigration and shit.
Yeah, well, that's my theory, is that they keep us distracted with shit that they, will fire people up and keep us distracted.
Yeah.
And fighting over it, so we don't notice all the shit that's really fucked up. That's going on, like the fact that corporations kind of essentially run the government, or have a fucking undue influence at least.
Oh yeah, I did get something wrong. Tiny houses are not profitable in large scale. They are profitable in small scale. So there are a lot of small businesses that have started up making tiny houses that makes pretty good money.
Oh, right. I love watching those shows of them converting weird shit into fucking houses, dude. I love that shit.
Oh, what is the name of that channel? Oh, I'll have to look that up.
Home and Garden? No,
it's a YouTube channel that's devoted entirely to alternative living. I am subscribed. And I'm just kind of going through here real quick. Well, there's a couple of different ones. I'm just looking for a real specific channel because it's also got a really nice documentary, like a 2-hour documentary on the whole thing.
All right. No, I've definitely watched shows about it, and it's interesting shit, man.
It's fascinating. And some people do it like just to travel, which is kind of cool. Like, because they're like, well, if I'm traveling, I don't need to, put all my money into a house. So I'm not going to be there very often. And some people do it so that they can save up to buy a more traditional, regular house later on down the road. They just don't have the money now. And they're like, why waste all this money on rent when I can just put, 20 months, 2 years worth of rent into a tiny house and then start saving up, all this huge amount of money to actually buy a regular house later, and they'll save money in the long run because I'm not spending 3,000 times what the house is worth in a mortgage.
Right.
And that's also part of why they put a stop to it, because you generally don't need to get mortgages. So
to cover something that cheap.
Where you borrow $100,000 and pay them back like $400,000.
Yeah, yeah. No, it sounds appealing, especially if you're someone that has that wants to travel, like when you retire or whatever. Like, live in a little fucking place and then buy a decent RV when you're ready to retire and fucking travel. And you don't really need a fucking huge house or whatever,
Yeah, exactly.
You just live on a fucking RV. Save up for that big ass RV.
Found it. I'm going to tweet it out on my Twitter if anybody's interested. I'm literally just tweeting out the actual documentary, and it's the documentary is on the channel I'm talking about. It's Kirsten Dirksen.
Kirsten Dirksen.
Yeah, she was like a news reporter, worked in like magazines, news reporter kind of thing, like a journalist, and then just got taken with the tiny house thing, everything about it, and just like spent the rest of her life, all the rest of their time since she found out about them, documenting tiny houses and alternative sort of like green living.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
New and interesting, but people don't, aren't necessarily legal yet in California, or not California, the U.S.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Earth ships.
What is it? Earth ships?
Earth ships is what they're called. And essentially, they're like a super hippie style house, but incredibly efficient and incredibly environmentally friendly.
Nah.
They're built with old tires and clay and cement and a few big wood beams.
Wow.
So the amount of materials they take is extremely small. The amount of cost is extremely low.
Yeah, so it's almost all recycled shit, except for the wooden
use like recycled cans and recycled bottles and stuff, like soda beer cans, soda beer bottles, to make some balls and stuff.
Nice.
And it actually looks really cool. But the way that the house is set up essentially is there is a big front garden that's enclosed in the front of the house, and then the back of the house basically turns into a big hill. You either build into the side of a hill or you make a hill, essentially, with the clay and the dirt and everything.
Oh, gotcha.
And then you maintain the temperature of the house by controlling how much of the air is let in and out through the hill, because any pipe you run under a big hill will get cold.
Cold. Right. Yeah, I never understood why. Well, I shouldn't say I never understood, but I guess I'm surprised that there's not more houses that are built like into the ground, like that, or into the side of a hill, or.
Well, these are primarily in the desert too, where you like AC is a necessity.
Right.
Is because they have a really thick ceiling and a really thick walls and everything on three really thick walls on three sides of the house. One wall into like at least a 20 or 30 foot deep hill. Mm-hmm. And then the one side is a greenhouse. So they'll literally grow all the fruits and vegetables you could like really ever need in the house. And they'll recycle, or not recycle, but they'll cycle all the water through the garden. All the gray water that's safe to do that with will go to water the garden. So you collect rainwater in like huge, barrels that you bury on the hill.
Right.
Keep the water cool and to keep it. You collect it all with the roof, and then all your gray water goes to like keep your garden where your food plants are growing, keep them good, and then your black water gets filtered out through garden plants in the front of the house that will filter it out. And first it goes into like a holding tank, sort of like a septic tank.
Right.
Once the septic tank fills, it overflows into a series of plants that will actually just clean it up.
Oh wow!
Like they can break it down, and since you're not eating those plants and it's not connected to your food garden, it's no harm. It's no big deal.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing what they've managed to do. Is
it doesn't have to be hooked up to any sort of sewer system or anything, and it literally is perfectly sanitary and safe. And there's no smell or anything like that.
Yeah. It's almost like a little mini biodomes, dude. Remember the
Essentially,
biodome?
that's what it's designed off of.
Yeah.
And you maintain the house temperature by the way it faces. Like they always have to face south, so that they get, you know, more sun in the winter, less sun in the summer. And then the amount that you open the windows in the greenhouse can greatly control the amount of temperature, amount of heat you get in the house. They'll generally stay below 80 degrees inside the whole time without any like AC. And you can hook up solar panels on your roof and get AC. It's not like it's, you know, it has to be no air conditioning. But in the middle of like Arizona in the summer, being able to keep your house below 80 degrees with no outside influence.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
It's fucking astonishing.
Yeah.
Place is managed.
Yeah, that's why, again, living here in Arizona, like, I never understood why they didn't have people that didn't.
And they don't allow them for the most part in most of the state, but there's like one small area of Arizona that allows it.
Oh, wow.
Arizona or New Mexico. I can't remember which. But there's one small area where they're allowing them to build them so that they can study them and figure out building codes. And you know, this isn't the kind of house that everybody wants to live in, and it wouldn't work in somewhere like, it probably wouldn't work as well in like, you know, Washington State or like Wisconsin up in the north. But there's a lot of places in the southern United States where it would probably be extremely cost effective for a lot of people. And I can let you build them because they're not up to code and they don't make any money for the big construction firms. Again, small businesses will make money off of it. It just, you can't mass produce them in the way you can the, you know, 5,000 square foot McMansions.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing how much profit is made on fucking regular, like, traditional houses, man. You know, like compared to how much it costs parts and labor, whatever, material and labor, to what they fucking sell houses for is insane, dude. Yeah.
Well,
they clean up.
How many people can build a tiny house?
Mm-hmm.
If you've watched videos on it, I'm sure you've seen a lot of people build their own. It's really not that hard to do. And you really can look on the internet and find out all the information you need to correctly build a tiny house and to build it up to code.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They're building them up to code for a larger house. They're just building the only difference between a tiny house as far as safety and adherence to, like, you know, building codes is that it's less than 250 square feet. And usually I think it has to be 400 square feet is the minimum size for a house.
Right.
It's with most states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, I've thought of that, buying a, not necessarily with a hill, but like buying like, you know, like one of those old shipping containers, burying it in the ground or almost all the way in the ground, you know, should work pretty well here. The only thing I assume there's ways to get around the flooding when it does, you know, during the summer when the monsoons hit and it does start raining like crazy. But yeah, beyond that, like,
I would think as long as you look at, like, you know, what's the highest the floodwaters get in your area and make sure that you build it high enough and create the hill over the top of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that it's high enough up that it's not going to get flooded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make sure you're not doing it somewhere that's a fucking floodplain, obviously.
Even then, if you built up on top of a hill and then just shipped in dirt to build a hill around it.
Yeah, that's true. Instead of just putting it in the ground, build it up, or kind of build it up around it. Like put a little bit of a base on it,
exactly,
to get it raised up, and then just fucking cover that motherfucker with dirt, dude.
And it's not expensive to have, you know, a bunch of dirt shipped in.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. Unless you're getting like super fancy like fucking soil for your like golf course. You know, dirt. There's a lot of places that just want to get rid of it, and they'll happily send it to you if you pay them, you know, a certain amount for it.
Right, just for the transportation of it, basically. Yeah. Like, what? You want a bunch of dirt? We're trying to get rid of this shit.
Yeah, we're excavating to build this thing, and we got to get rid of all this dirt. And you're willing to take some, go for it. Just got to ship it over. Or they might charge you a nominal fee.
Yeah, I assume they'll charge you at least how much it costs them to ship it to you or whatever. But
and as far as environmental impact goes, it's basically, you know, it's not like you're damaging the environment by moving dirt from one area to another.
Right.
Unless it's like farm soil.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, I think it was, sadly enough, it was the Branch Davidians that gave me the idea because they took like old school buses and fucking buried them in the ground, dude.
Oh yeah, there's a fucking. So I'm into preppers, so I see a lot of the crazy people. Prep. Because like I'm one of those people like, hey man, there might be an earthquake or my house might catch on fire, so it's a good idea to have a plan in place and to have stuff for.
Yeah, yeah, no, there's many ways that civilization could break down, either temporarily or permanently. So no, it's not that crazy.
Well, but I mean, like, there's people who have like 100 guns and like 50 years worth of food, and I'm not that kind of prepper. I'm the kind of guy who's like, yeah, I've got candles in case there's a blackout. I've got a first aid kit. I've got a little bit of food in case there was like an earthquake or a major issue, that's in my area, kind of thing.
Right, right. Yeah, enough to survive short term, dude. If something crazy happens.
Yeah, for like 3 or 4 days, we're all stocked here, essentially.
Yeah.
Just in case. It's probably for like a couple of weeks because we usually have a bunch of food just in the house in general.
Right. Right.
But these people like this guy, he used probably like 50 buses to build a whole underground compound. And then when you were talking about burying the school buses, that made me think of it. Like this dude, literally, it's like 50 buses.
All interconnected, like underground and shit.
It's all interconnected. There's like huge underground garden areas, like greenhouse areas. There's bunk houses. There were like workout rooms and school rooms, and he had it all set up. He was going to like start a whole new society underground because he thought the world was going to end. Like I think he was prepped for nuclear war.
No. Yeah, that's nuts. Although again, cutting, just doing that, even not being a crazy, like thinking the world's going to end completely. Again, just putting shit underground cuts way down on, the cost for, like heating and AC and all that shit.
Keeps the temperature.
It kind of makes sense. Yeah.
You're not dealing with as much wind and rain damage on your own house, so it keeps the structure safer longer.
Right.
So you do the right kind of waterproofing on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, I'm sort of surprised it doesn't caught on more, man. Well, I guess maybe it is nowadays. Who knows? But it doesn't seem like the old shipping containers would make more sense than school buses at this point. Like burying them in the ground instead of school buses.
Yeah, the shipping containers make a lot more sense, especially because they're not filled with like gasoline and oil and like an engine and rubber tires, and they're actually designed to support other shipping containers on top of them, whereas buses really aren't designed to support a bus on top of it.
Yeah. So they would be able to handle the strain of no matter how deep you wanted to put them, it could probably hold the strain of.
Oh,
however deep you want to put it.
A lot of weight on top of a shipping container to collapse it.
Yeah, because they stack them like what, fucking 20 high or something. Well, maybe not 20 high, but I mean they stack a lot of fucking shipping containers on top of shipping containers.
Oh yeah, no, those things are super solid. And there's a huge. They're beginning to get a lot more expensive because people are realizing that you can take 2 or 3 shipping containers and build a relatively normal sized house, and it's real cheap comparatively.
Yeah.
Literally just getting them put onto a concrete pillar and getting the plumbing and stuff run through the electricity and then building walls on the inside. It's not real expensive to do, and insulating and everything.
Yeah.
It's super cheap.
Yeah.
A lot of what happens is people will put like because if they're not burying them underground, they'll just build like a roof over them.
Right.
Instead of waterproofing and making a roof on top of them. Whereas if you're burying it underground, you literally can just lay down like a few sheets of the right kind of material over the top of them, and you're fine. And then they get secured on a concrete slab. So you dig out the hole you want it in, put a concrete slab down, put your fucking shipping container down, bolt it in place, cover it with a 1 layer of like the right kind of paint, and then you just put a couple layers of plastic down and bury that shit again.
Yeah.
And then, all you really have to have is like a key ventilation tube just for safety. You want to have a main ventilation tube and an emergency ventilation tube, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Then you hook up the plumbing and the electrical, and you're fucking done.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'll have to go look into that and see how feasible it is. There's still a lot of land around here that would be, pretty inexpensive.
I think Living Big, Tiny House YouTube channel had a video where a guy worked and he traveled from country to country fairly regularly, like for his career when he worked. So he built a house into a shipping container without making it look like a house. It just looked like a shipping container, so it wouldn't compromise any of the structure of the container itself. But you could just like open up the gates, and you would have like front doors and stuff.
Right.
And you could swing out the side, and it would turn into like a fucking, like a little roof over like a deck thing and shit. And it was just like, it was super awesome. Like it was, because he would have to travel anyway, so he would just have his home shipped to place to place.
Okay. All right. I thought he was
shipping container already. So if he wanted, he has to go to China for 2 years. He just ships that home there and finds a place to put it. Rents like a little bit of property from somebody, and they just deliver it with a big semi truck.
Nice. Yeah. See, I thought you were going to say he just did that because he was never home and he just left it where. But actually shipping it—that's fucking awesome, dude.
Sometimes you would have to work in like Norway, so you take it to Norway, and then you have to work in like the U.S. and take it there and just ship it and store it in places and live out of it when he was there. And it was cheaper than buying a house.
Right.
And then renting apartments or homes in all these areas where he worked too. It was just like, why
do that? Yeah. Because there's plenty of places, like especially like old cities that are super congested, where the rooms and everything in the like houses and apartments are really small because people will go like they're only there when they fucking go to sleep or whatever, like eating and sleeping. And the rest of the time they'll spend it out, in the courtyard or in a fucking park or whatever. You don't need a whole lot of space for the basic necessities.
Well, for instance, I'm in California. I live in a 4-bedroom house. It's not particularly big. It's not small. It's an average middle-sized house, 1 story, with like a front and a backyard. Right. And you could easily fit probably 5 tiny houses in the same space.
Right.
So you could easily fit enough housing for probably twice the number of people that live in my house. And there's a lot of young couples who would love to live in a tiny house.
Yeah. I think it's going to become a lot more popular, dude. Especially with how many people are having to fucking live with their parents and shit because of how much student loans they owe, and you know what I mean. Like I can see that getting a lot more popular.
Well, I had to move back in with my parents. Like I moved out for a while, and I had to move back in.
Yeah, no, same here, dude.
California, the amount of money is just fucking rent skyrocketed.
Yeah. California is fucking crazy.
Well, one of the things I'm looking at is getting a second job now that I've got the overnights to sleep overnights. So that's gonna be super easy because I'm sleeping for one day, and then get in shape, get a second job, save up, get the fuck out of California. I'm looking at places like Tennessee and stuff though.
Right. Yeah, Georgia is apparently really cheap.
We almost
pretty much anywhere in the South, I think.
Yeah, when I was in high school, around probably the early thousands, like maybe 2000. No, I wasn't in high school. No, this would be in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. We're looking at Georgia, and like the average house price in California is somewhere in the nicer areas. We're in like probably $300,000-$400,000 for a house, for like a 3-bedroom house.
Right.
And in Georgia, you could buy like an 8-bedroom fucking mansion on like 20 fucking acres of land for like $50,000, $30,000 at the same time. It was insane.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, I think that's what. I don't know if you remember the picture. Kevin Brown when he signed with the. This was back in like the 80s or 90s. Like people got on him because he complained about how much more it would cost to live in LA than Georgia, where he was from.
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, I couldn't believe the sticker shock." Like, dude, you just signed a $15 million a year contract. It's not the. But it's still not the best place.
The difference in the price. It's like 100 times more expensive to live in LA. It's like.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I mean,
no, that's why
rent is in like Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, see, it's here. It's not bad at all. Like I said, I've known a lot of people that have moved here from like San Diego or LA or whatever because,
Well, what would you say like a one-bedroom apartment on average would be? Like,
oh, fuck, dude. It's been way too long since I've looked at that shit. Trying to think. Well, let me put this in perspective. This was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I was renting a 5-bedroom, 2-story house. I think it was around 2,800 or no, 3,200 square foot. I was renting that for $1,300 a month.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So the average one-bedroom apartment in California, you're looking at least 1,000, probably 1,200 a month.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And again, I don't live in Phoenix. I live in, south of Phoenix.
Yeah. And when I say one bedroom, I mean like a shithole studio apartment.
Right. Not even a separate bedroom.
Yeah.
It's just the studio.
You get like a small divider wall between your bedroom and the rest of your apartment. Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
The kitchen and the living room are essentially one big room.
Right.
And if you're really lucky, it has a door to it,
Right. Yeah, no, studios are fucking awful. Yeah. Well, unless, if you're just single and no kids, it's fucking no problem, I guess. But
well, and when rent was cheap in California, me and 2 of my friends were renting a 3-bedroom house for $1,700 a month.
Wow.
1,700 was it 2,000? I don't remember.
So it shot up even more than that, even just recently. Then you're saying, like within the last 10 years or longer ago than that?
Like in '98, we were paying like 1,700. No, it was 1,800 for the 3-bedroom house. That's why it's been a long time. That's why I forgot the. It took me a minute to recall.
Yeah.
Then we had to pay all the utilities, so it was 1,800 plus all the utilities and shit.
Plus utilities, yeah. And I think even then was when I first started hearing about people moving to Arizona, from like California because of how expensive it was. So, like even then, that was not particularly cheap. And then apparently it's skyrocketed since then, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. So now for a 3-bedroom in the same, let's see, I'm looking. Well, for a 2-bedroom, it's 1,800, 2,100. I'm looking for like a similar neighborhood. Oh yeah, that's about right. Similar price neighborhood. We're looking at about 2,300 a month for a 3-bedroom. So it's gone up like 500 a month for a 3-bedroom house in my area from like 98 to 2015, which that doesn't seem like a lot, but really that is quite a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. Yeah, I thought it was a lot. Like when I moved up north. Like paying $700 for a 1-bedroom was pretty outrageous. Like that was the luxury. That was the luxury apartment.
You could probably find studios around here for like $500 or $600 a month.
Right.
But now it's you're looking at least 1,000 for like a studio. And the problem I have is we're about an hour from San Francisco. So it's right within like a daily driver commute kind of deal. So a lot of really wealthy people, comparatively speaking, live, that work in San Francisco, live in Santa Rosa.
All right. Yeah. So it's their fault it got so expensive, basically?
Well, yeah, the people who live in Santa Rosa are competing with the people who work in San Francisco making, 3 times the wage that Santa Rosa can offer.
Right.
Actually, I think minimum wage in San Francisco is like $18 an hour, $15 or $18 an hour.
That's crazy.
Just now raising in the rest of California to be like, I think it's going to end up being 15 minimum wage, which they're doing it over the space of like fucking 5 years or some crazy shit. So it's like,
wow, pretty quick, man. Pretty quick ramping it up.
They should have ramped it up within the space of a year. It's not like it's something that businesses can't afford. There's a big sort of like, oh, they're going to have to raise their prices, but then you find out like the price raised for most businesses is like 20 cents for a product or something. It's not wages.
Right. Yeah, that's what it's like when they talk about like restaurants and shit like that, you're like, well, think about how many people come in and how little you'd have to actually, like, like per hour, like how many people come in and how much you would actually have to raise it per customer is not that high. To cover a few employees or however many employees that they're getting paid that much more. Yeah, it's not a huge difference.
Well, the thing is, people are going to have to change their profit margins. So people who invest in businesses won't make as much. Like they'll still make good money. They're just not going to make as much.
Yeah, it's just not the hand over fist that it is now. Basically.
Exactly. You won't make $1 million off of $100,000 investment. You'll make $200,000, which is a much more rational return on your investment.
Yeah. Doubling your investment is fucking awesome. It's almost obscene. It's almost obscene to make a tenfold fucking profit, Martin.
Yeah, exactly. It's absurd that not only do you expect to be guaranteed a profit on any investment and that there should never be any risk, which is sort of the expectation right now and the way everybody's treating it, and that you should expect to have like 1,000% return on every investment no matter what, or it's a failed business. Like that's not realistic at all. But that's what a lot of people expect, and it's just it's unreasonable.
Yeah, well, it's been that way for so fucking long.
Or that there are businesses too big to fail. Like, when did that horse shit start coming around?
Oh, yeah. That's so fucking... Yeah. Well, whoever came up with that fucking bullshit, it's kind of ingenious in an evil kind of way.
Yeah,
oh no, they're too big to fail. We gotta fucking bail them out or it'll be fucking disaster. Like, yeah, it probably wouldn't be. Like AIG, like you telling me they couldn't fail and just have other insurance companies take up all the business?
Yeah, other insurance companies can start to take up the business, and other insurance companies that exist can take up the business.
Yeah,
it's not like they're going to leave a gaping hole, and no one's ever going to recover.
Yeah, it's how they've managed to frame these things as again too big to fail or. Trickle down economics, like they fucking package it this way.
It just sounds like a bunch of rich people pissing on a lot of poor people.
Right. I'm still amazed at that. Like, I don't know, people seem to think that it stopped. Like, have this impression that when Reagan got out of office, it stopped.
Oh, no, I can't.
Like they don't. Yeah, it still goes, whether it's Democrat, Republican, like it's fucking continued on to this day. And nobody fucking points that out. Like, a lot of people don't realize that.
Well, a lot of people don't realize where the free market concept came from. So, you've seen the movie Beautiful Mind?
Yeah.
So, the guy who is the subject of that movie literally had severe schizophrenia, like delusional paranoid schizophrenia. And he created his mathematical theory, games theory, which is what is largely behind most of the free market economical theory, is what they're all based on. They're all based on his theory. And he has since actually rescinded the theory and said, no, that was a product of delusional schizophrenia, and it treats people like equations, and it's not an accurate, it's a bad thing to base any sort of system on.
Right. But it's still going.
Yeah, and it's people don't realize that the majority of like what they're pimping when they're talking about anarcho-capitalism, free market economy.
Yeah, although the way he describes it in the movie, kind of makes it sound pretty good. Where it says, "Well, you kind of do what's best for everybody, not just for yourself."
That's not what humans are like.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't base a theory on humans being altruistic or being selfish all the time.
Right.
Either, because humans are not fucking equations.
Right.
We're way too crazy for that. Any sort of thing like that, where you can just say like all humans are going to do this or all humans do that, or put this into like some sort of equation in any way.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes humans will just go out of their way to help people for no apparent reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just won't even know.
Right.
Sometimes they want, like, some lady fucking donated like $2 or $3 million to the program, to the company I work for, and had it set up in and had it set up in a trust fund so that it literally just pays for medical insurance for the employees.
Wow.
So the company I work for can't touch this money. And literally the interest on it pays for the medical insurance for all the full-time employees, and just only the employee, though. It won't pay for the family.
Wow.
If you're a single person or you're just buying insurance for yourself where I work, if you work 40 hours a week, you pay $0 per paycheck in medical insurance.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
And I pay, because I work part-time, I pay half of the cost of what I would normally pay for medical insurance.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. And you couldn't possibly have predicted that some lady was going to die and put, a couple $1 million in a trust fund for this company.
Right.
So you can't count on that as part of your financial theory. And it's little things like that, but it's a bunch of little things that add up to a much bigger change and effect over time.
Right.
And you just can't do that. Humans cannot be fit into equations in that way.
Right.
Which is exactly what that guy says now that he's on medication and sane.
Right.
Like the same guy.
Like, you can't just turn us into numbers and fucking expect everybody to act a certain way.
He retracted that theory, and he's since spoken out against it and said, like, anything based off of this theory, like the free market stuff, is all horseshit.
Yeah.
So,
I always kind of suspected that economics in general was a bunch of bullshit, dude.
Well, economics in general isn't bullshit. There are some things you can predict, like, if things cost a lot of money, less people will be able to buy them, so they will sell them.
Right. Yeah, supply and demand, and that kind of shit. Yeah.
You can assume that if there's a way to rig the system, somebody will try to rig the system.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, have you heard of the I forget what they call it, but it's basically where dealing with the stock market. They have the computer set up, and they actually get the numbers, like it's like microseconds or whatever, milliseconds faster. They get the updates faster than everyone else, and they'll get the trades done in those milliseconds. Set up automatically through the computers to do these trades and buy and sell and that kind of shit. And so it's basically rigged like that, where they know what the price is, so they know what to do, and they can have it executed so quickly because the computer's doing it automatically.
Is very much legalized gambling with people's futures.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It used to be, if you wanted to take a loan out for a business, you had to go and you had to get investors. You had to convince either convince a bank that you were worth the risk, or you had to convince a private individual who had the money that you were worth the risk.
Right.
And now it's like, you basically just go up and be like, hey, who wants to roll a set of dice and hope I'm worth the risk?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just
it's not crazy.
For, however many people to buy, and it's not how you really, it's not a sane way to do
it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Oh. I had a question, and unfortunately, Ingeharth isn't here, but I'm curious here. I was thinking it would be funny to do maybe not a permanent series, but at least a short-term series of, like people review everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Oh, somebody already does it.
What happened? What was it?
I was thinking frozen dinner reviews.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of fucking any kind of food, dude. There's some kind of reviews.
Basically, do like mocking of it, like not actual review, but like just like as if you were eating like fine cuisine kind of stuff.
Start talking about how the fucking all the flavors and textures, the interplay of the different color flavors. Oh, that'd be fucking awesome. So somebody already does that?
No, I don't think anybody does that. I think they actually review. I'm gonna have to check out some of them because there's like a couple of places that do it.
Yeah, it'd be kind of an Onion-inspired kind of thing, dude. That'd be pretty good.
It looks like It looks like none of them are very big channels.
All right.
And it looks like it's not real serious reviews. So I think there's room. I think there's room in this market. And really, if you ever look at something and decide whether or not to do it, if you think of other people who've done it first, everyone's done everything under the fucking sun.
Right.
But I was thinking if Englehart had a spot we can do it at, like we literally have like a tablecloth, a fucking candle in the middle of the table, like wine glasses with water in it for clear our palate between courses. Generally, you have at least 2 courses in a frozen food. There'll be like the main course inside. And sometimes you'll get like a vegetable.
Right. And then the dessert, the little brownie or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of them just have like the main and a vegetable now because they're like
oh yeah, it's kind of all just one big.
Whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Hungry Man ones still give you a little dessert, dude.
Yeah, my brother just recently found the fried chicken ones, and I haven't seen those in a while. It's like 2 or 3 pieces of fried chicken, a little tiny bit of mashed potatoes and corn, and a brownie.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like an actual full like dinner-sized dinner.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the Hungry Man ones are actually not bad.
Yeah.
Although the fried chicken's going to be fucking soggy as hell, but it actually still tastes okay. But if you like it crunchy, you're fucked.
They used to be pretty good, man. They used to be crunchy when you put them in the oven.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how they pulled that off, dude.
I was a little kid, and I assume it was poison.
Right.
Just for cyanide fucking mix. But
right.
You actually got crunchy chicken out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably like a lot of saturated like fats and fucking hydrogenated oils.
I guess. But yeah, that's nuts, man. That's why I always like to try to cook anything, any pizzas that say they're microwavable. Like, I will not fucking microwave them, dude. I always put them in a toaster oven or something, dude.
Oh, I'll microwave. Certain things I'll microwave because I like them that way. Frozen burritos. My favorite thing is you take a just barely damp paper towel, you wrap the frozen burrito, and fuck whatever the time says, microwave it for 1 minute, flip it over, 1 minute, flip it over, and keep going back and flipping it each minute until it's hot. And then it comes out soft.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while to get like that crunchy tortilla skin on the outside. Hey, Miggy. Mm-hmm. What up?
Hey.
Yeah, the police passing
right.
the house reminded him of us. They're not coming for us yet. But yeah, that's the best way to do it.
That's very sweet.
Soft.
Yeah, see, I kind of like those, like even the cheap ones or whatever. I kind of like them when getting crunchy, so that's why I prefer to put them in.
Hey, it's personal taste, man.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Chicken nuggets, you gotta fucking microwave. You gotta oven bake those, man. They don't come out good in the microwave. They come out real gross and soggy.
Yeah, it's hard to get them crunchy even cooking them in a conventional.
I did tater tots in the microwave once, and they even say like you can't cook them in the microwave, but those are the worst. Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
They just turn into mush. They don't hold their shape or anything. They just kind of fall apart when you try to pick them up, and so you end up with just sort of like this weird half mashed potato with crunchy bits in it. They're like really hot.
Yeah, it's
just kind of depressing and sad. Like you can just sit there with like a gloopy potato shit with ketchup on it.
Yeah, or actually, you know what they do a pretty good job on is the French bread ones. Like, because they give you the little fucking foil, like the foil lined thing to cook them in the microwave. Those are actually okay. Yeah. So that actually crisps them. But even those, right? Yeah, where it's like foil lined, or even the little round pizzas, like the deep dish round ones, the little the little tiny ones.
Yeah,
they'll have like a little platform you put it on, so it at least crisps the bottom of it in the microwave. But even those things, unless I'm fucking starving, like it's only like 20 minutes, or 15 to 20 minutes to cook them in a toaster oven.
Yeah.
So yeah, I usually just fucking do it that way.
The only thing that for me, I used to work graveyard shift, so a lot of times on my nights off, I'd be up in the middle of the night, and I don't want to wake people up. And the oven in my house, there's no way to turn this off. I don't know why. whenever it reaches temperature, it beeps super fucking loud for like 10 seconds straight. So you set it for like 350. The second it gets to 350 degrees, it goes really loud.
Oh wow! No, and toaster oven just beeps like 5 times, like beep, beep, beep.
No, and in my house, it definitely wakes somebody up with the oven.
That's nuts.
Oh, here's the thing I did with frozen burritos that I think nobody does, and that you're all going to be surprised about. I put a spoonful of peanut butter on them occasionally.
Wow.
So I'll just take like a frozen burrito and put like a tablespoonful of peanut butter on the top of it. It is amazingly good.
Wow.
It
I'm like like what kind of burritos, dude? Like bean or beef like or what?
Bean and beef burrito. Just a regular bean and beef frozen burrito. I had a friend of mine that did it. I saw him do it, and I'm like, God, that's gross. And then I was like, you know what, though? I should shut my fucking mouth until I've actually tried it.
Right. So like, God, that's weird. Like, that is atypical. That's crazy. Yeah, it sounds awful.
It does sound awful. I know it does. The other thing I like to do with frozen burritos is put a little bit of cheese and salsa on them, and then cook it in the microwave until it melts that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, and then
I love that shit.
Cream or a little ranch dressing, either one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll usually do when I cook them like that. Is well, I don't do it in the microwave, but in the toaster oven is I'll wait until they're half cooked, and then I'll go in and throw the cheese and shit on there, and then when they come out, then I'll put the salsa over the top of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to save up like Taco Bell sauce packets for that, or even sometimes you can find Taco Bell sauce in the stores here.
Yeah, or Whataburger. Whataburger gives the picante sauce, dude. You got a pretty decent picante
we don't
sauce.
have Whataburger in California.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Wow. Have you eaten at a Whataburger before or no?
No, I've heard about it. I've heard it's good, but I like In-N-Out. In-N-Out's my favorite. But
yeah, In-N-Out's fucking really good too. Yeah, yeah. No, we have those. We barely started getting those here about 5 years ago.
See, Whataburger near me. This ought to be funny. I'm gonna look it up to see how close the nearest one is. I won't be doing it on screen though.
Yeah, I'd be curious, man. I'm surprised. Well, I guess come to think of it, I have never seen a Whataburger in California. I've seen a lot of In-N-Out burgers.
Yeah, California's not even on their list.
Oh wow. I wonder why that is. It's weird. Yeah, they're everywhere here, man. Yeah, those are really good. They have these, their breakfast stuff is really goddamn good. Like they have, it's called breakfast on a bun. It's basically either like sausage or bacon and like a fried egg on like a hamburger bun, like a nice soft hamburger bun, with cheese and everything too. So I'll usually get something like that and put their picante sauce on there. It's fantastic. Yeah, or their biscuits and gravy. Like it's only like $1.50, and it's really goddamn good.
Arizona is the closest to me.
Yeah, there's probably one in Yuma. Oh no, closer to you. You're up more. Yeah, probably be in fucking Kingman.
I'm in Northern California, so. You're talking.
Yeah, Kingman would probably be the nearest to you.
8 to 10 hours just to drive from here to Arizona.
Yeah. I wonder if they have any in Oregon. I guess not. I guess that would have shown up.
No, Oregon would be closer by a little bit, but they didn't have any in Oregon. They didn't say.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It looks like Alabama 13, 25 in Arizona, 5 in Arkansas, 38 in Florida, only 1 in Georgia, 15 in Louisiana, 8 in Mississippi, 10 in New Mexico, and you're going to see why I'm reading this off here in a minute. 33 in Oklahoma, and in Texas, 668.
Wow.
It's just like just a few in each state, and then Texas is like millions of whatever.
I guess, dude.
In the city, there's 5.
That has to be their home fucking.
Yeah, I think they originated in Austin. I think they're in Austin.
Yeah, because when I moved out here from New York, I'd never heard of them. In fact, every time somebody mentioned it, I thought they were saying Waterburger.
Oh yeah,
Waterburger. Every time I heard it, I'm like, what the hell is a Waterburger? Like, it sounds interesting. Yeah. I don't know what a burger. And then, yeah, they're really good burgers. Actually, all their stuff is really good, man.
Well, I'm sure they're great, man. It's, In-N-Out is super good too. I don't know if they're in Arizona or not, though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you were listening, Stabby, I said about 5 minutes ago that we just got them here about 5 years ago.
Oh, you just got them there about 5 years ago? Yeah. Do you guys have like super long lines in them all the time too?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, dude.
Have you ever had the animal style fries though?
Mm-hmm. No, I've seen it, but yeah, I've never done it myself, dude. Because they're already pretty goddamn good by themselves, dude. I really like their fries.
Well, again, cheese, the special sauce, and the fried pickles and onions on top. Fucking amazing. You'll never go back.
All right. Yeah.
Yourself, but you'll never go back.
Oh shit. Oh man. But yeah, no, that's definitely Whataburger's basically right on par with the. It's a little different because the burgers I think are bigger. Like the patties are pretty big, the buns are bigger. But yeah, it's probably on par with In-N-Out. It's really goddamn good, and they have a decent menu selection. Yeah. The way In-N-Out is basically just, like they have the different variations, but it's basically burgers and fries and shakes.
Oh, yeah. We've been ignoring Miggy for a minute here. Just to comment to respond to some of this stuff. Like apples and chili. I don't know if I've ever done apples and chili with peanut butter, but it sounds good. Or no, like apples and chili. Like apparently people put actual apple pieces in chili.
Oh, wow.
I've never done that, but I could see that. I put apples in stir fries before, and it's really good.
Yeah, or like chicken salad. Like that kind of freaked me out when I was like, I think it was Arby's.
Sure not too sweet and not too sour, but if you get a good mild apple in one of those, it's real good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think because I saw somebody again. I think it was Arby's. They had one of their sandwiches was chicken salad with with that in it. And I think it was grapes and apples, and I'm like, what the fuck is that all about?
Usually they'll have grapes too, like grapes and apples in the chicken salad.
Right. Really?
That's what's that called? There's like an actual type of salad. No, that name's gonna come to me. There's like a specific name for it when it's with chicken and apples and grapes. Also, Miggy, I don't know if you're in California or not, but they actually sell Taco Bell sauce in bottles in the stores in California. In some of them, like Safeways. I don't know what Mod Pizza is, and apparently he just shit his pants because his fridge made a weird fucking noise.
Yeah, I'm seeing that stuff. What is Mod Pizza? Yeah, please elaborate on what Mod Pizza is. Is that the name of the place, or is that a type of pizza?
Because I'm always up for a good pizza place. Right now in our area, we got what's the name of it? Fucking, we just had it a few weeks ago. Oh well, I think it's a pizza chain. It's a pizza chain, but I don't think it's real big yet.
Yeah. Is it like a high-end place or not really?
Medium.
Medium.
But the quality is beyond medium. But I mean, price-wise, they're like medium. They're not super cheap. They're not super expensive. They're right in the middle.
Okay.
And it's Mountain Lights. I think it's just local to where I am. But they're phenomenal pizza. Just the food, it's just so fresh.
Yeah, that's always good. I think I'm trying to think. There's a place called Sammy's Pizza. It's like a brick oven, wood-fired brick oven.
That sounds really good. Sorry to interrupt you. I apologize about that.
Yeah, or right there in Carlsbad, there's a place called Primo Pizza and Pasta. That place was fucking amazing, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. What was it? I'm sorry.
Was it anything with pasta is good?
Yeah, but yeah, it was really good. It's weird. It was right next to like a Ralph's or whatever, but it was like kind of on the backside. It was a shitty location, but man, some of the best pizza I've ever had, man. Fucking awesome. Yeah. That's one good thing I like about California. Like the town I live in does not have a lot of good restaurants. Like even the chain restaurants kind of suck. Like
oh yeah.
Like I can notice a difference when I go up to like Phoenix and eat at a Wendy's as opposed to eating here. Like, it's not horrible, but like I notice a difference in the quality of shit between here and up there. So yeah, I really notice when I go to California, it's just great that there's very few shitty restaurants.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, like my town isn't like a big town or a small town. It's sort of a medium-sized town.
Right.
But there's probably 3 or 4 really good sushi places. There's a couple of really good Indian restaurants. There's at least 3 or 4 places where you can get really good quality pizza. Probably a dozen places where you can get extremely good Mexican food.
Right.
And there's even a few places where you can get sort of down-home Southern style, fucking biscuits and gravy food.
Right.
So
right. Yeah, that's kind of how when I lived in Flagstaff, which is northern Arizona, up in the mountains or whatever. That was like that. It's a college town. It's where Northern Arizona University is. It's kind of a college town. It's about 40, I think, like 50,000 people. Like, it's a decent size place. But man, all the restaurants there were freaking amazing, dude. Just really good, like really good pizza places, really good, again, Chinese food, everything, dude. Yeah, which was just surprising because they're about the same size. Like the town I live in now in Flagstaff are about the same size, and the restaurants here suck for the most part. And the ones up there were just all fucking amazing.
So we're actually 175,000.
Yeah, that's a decent city, man. I know in California with there's fucking way bigger ones, but that's a decent sized city, dude.
Well, and then there's another 100,000 population that's within. There's 2 cities within half an hour. One is 60,000. One is 40,000. If you go south.
All right.
And then let's see. If you go north. If you go north, the nearest city with it's about 15 minutes away is another 27,000. So you're looking at probably 300,000 people within a half an hour drive, 45 minutes drive on the freeway. So the area is pretty big, I guess. More people than I thought. I'm just used to it.
Yeah, see, that's how it is. I mean, here it's kind of the exact opposite. Like you've got the Phoenix metro area, which is several million people. And you've got Tucson, which is about, I don't know, roughly 500,000, I think, or maybe 1 million. I don't know, somewhere about 500,000 to 1 million people. The rest of the state is really sparsely populated. There's no other real big cities anywhere besides Phoenix, really.
Well, but I mean, San Francisco is huge compared. I mean, it's like we're not really big because I don't think of our town as really big because San Francisco.
Right.
So like, you drive an hour and you're in San Francisco, and then you're like, this is massive town where people are all right on top of each other, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch though too. I mean, Oakland's right there too. San Diego, LA. Sacramento's actually kind of small, right? Even though it's the capital, like Sacramento's one of the smaller cities there, right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, San Jose. I mean, San Jose was one. It's funny. We did this some job I was at. We were doing this weird quiz about the top 25 populated cities, and San Jose was the one that none of us could fucking guess, dude. And for some reason, everybody forgets about San Jose. But yeah, San Jose is a big fucking city, dude.
There's a lot of people I run into who are in California. Like me talking about he's in California too. And everybody, I meet a lot of people who are in California who are like, I need to get out of California. It's too expensive. The politics are getting absurd. The taxes are getting silly. And San Jose is big, man. In California, like Southern California, the cities get even bigger than San Francisco is not even close to big. If you can think, can you look at LA?
Right.
Yeah, I think we need to get everybody together. Trying to get out of California, and everybody needs to go to like Montana, and we'll all build like a freaking what do you call that? Where like the cults live?
A compound?
Yeah, we'll all build a compound together, and it'll be great.
Nice.
I think.
Yeah, why not? Just gonna get a bunch of guns and just squat on some land somewhere and see them try to take it from us.
Like you're like fucking like any guy. You guys should fucking start a war with the local state.
Yeah, come on, Montana cannot be prepared for that kind of thing. They'll back off, I'm sure.
Actually, I'm pretty sure if a bunch of people from California tried to just take a bunch of land with guns, the people in Montana would just laugh and break out the fucking tanks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Montana is definitely, there's not a lot of people, but they are definitely
they'd call in like 3 or 4 local farmers to be like, yeah, you got yourself a big case of the Californians there. I got some tanks, clear that up for you if you don't.
Damn.
I don't know if that's the Montana accent. It just sounded right.
Yeah, why not?
It is now. That's why they love us Californians.
Well, I heard there's quite a few like celebrities and shit that bought up land in Montana and built like fucking shitty ranches or whatever. Yeah, apparently like the locals get all pissed off, but there's not really much you can do about it. Like throughout like Montana and Wyoming, there's a lot of places where celebrities have bought shit up like that.
I think Wyoming would probably be a little bit better than Montana, though.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. The Sawtooth Mountains. I can't remember if that's in Montana or. Yeah, it's in Montana, I think. That's a pretty scenic little run there. I had a friend of mine who me and him were gonna. I was gonna fly back. There's a guy I worked with at Verizon here in Phoenix. He moved back to Detroit. I was gonna fly back there, and we were gonna take like a 2-week trip cross country and hit a bunch of different spots and shit. And yeah, that area through the Sawtooth Mountains is really fucking beautiful. And then. Yeah.
The reason I was thinking.
And what's the one? It's Yellowstone, right? Yellowstone's in Wyoming, right?
No, Yellowstone's in California, man.
Yellowstone? No, you're thinking of Yosemite, right? Yellowstone is not in California. You're thinking of Yosemite, dude. Because I mix those two up all the time.
Yellowstone National Park, United States. Oh, it is in Montana. Okay, I thought it was I might be thinking of Yosemite.
Yeah, I mix those two up all the time, dude. Fucking wise. Yeah, I think it's in Montana and is it just Montana? It's a fucking huge. I think it goes a little bit into a couple other states around there too. Hold on, I'm looking at the map now. Get smaller, you stupid fucking map. Mine-ish. All right. Yeah, see, it's mostly in Wyoming, dude.
Oh, it's in all 3 of them, though. Wyoming, Montana.
Yeah, Idaho, a little bit into Idaho.
It's a little bit further south, so I think you'd have a little less harsh winters. Like, not a lot less harsh, but somewhat less harsh winters. That's why I was thinking about it.
All right. Okay. But yeah, that place is fucking nuts. I want to go over there at El Capitan and fucking tell the free climbers how fucking stupid they are. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm a pretty I've been known to be a thrill seeker in my life, but I don't understand free climbing a fucking a sheer cliff face, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane to me, dude. Like, no ropes. You know what I'm talking about, right? El Capitan, where it's just a.
I don't know if I've ever been to Yellowstone. I think I've been to Yosemite then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one that has the redwood trees, I assume, right?
Yeah. But when I went, I was like maybe a top, like not too much, like in grade school, maybe 2nd or 3rd grade. It's been a long time.
Right. Okay, but yeah, El Capitan's actually in Yosemite. Okay, I mixed that up again. See, El Capitan is in Yosemite.
We hiked up to the super tall place, and there were stairs to get up there, but like there was sheer faces that people climbed because. And I remember this because I got yelled at by a bunch of people because I was throwing sticks over the edge. Like, there could be people climbing up. You could be, you could seriously injure somebody or hurt somebody. And I'm like, well, I'm a little kid. I had no fucking idea.
Right.
The stick went bye-bye. That's all I knew.
Right. And, yeah. As soon as it disappears over the edge, it's gone forever.
Yeah, but my mom
fall down on anybody.
And she had a great story about going to Yellowstone. Oh, sequoia trees, not redwood. Okay, yeah, sequoia trees are the really big ones. Those are awesome. From Carrot. Hey, Carrot. But when my mom went to Yellowstone, they were taking pictures of bears and stuff. That was a big thing. And she saw this big group of people form a circle around a bear cub, taking pictures of it.
Jeez.
And so she got her siblings, and they went and got them back in the cabin because she's like, this could get real dangerous. And she told her dad, like, that seems really dangerous. And he's like, oh, yeah, whatever, who cares? And a couple of the tourists who formed the ring, luckily because the bears were so used to tourists, the mama bear didn't freak out. But she went right to the cub and just shoved a couple of tourists aside.
No.
Boy, they got the fucking scare of their fucking life.
Yeah, people are dumb, dude. Like, especially when you see cubs, like, you have to know the mom is almost certainly going to be around, and is, really fucking lucky that mom knew that you didn't mean him any harm, because that's not the way it normally fucking goes down, man. Those fucking mama bears or mama mountain lions or fucking whatever will fuck you up, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw one where these people were a bunch of fucking kids were messing with a bison, with buffalo, with a bison.
What?
And the fucking parents were filming it, dude. These kids fucking with a buffalo, dude. And they're even talking about how, hey, this thing could, and they're just not fucking giving a shit that their kids could get trampled by this thing. And again, luckily, nothing happened. The fucking thing got pissed off. It started fucking going after him, dude. But luckily, again, it was one that was relatively level-headed, I guess, because it was really just chasing them off. You could tell it wasn't going full speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was going after him. Like, it was fed up.
Like they were pest, and it was like, get the fuck out of here. But it wasn't like, I'm going to kill you now.
Right. Although I'm pretty sure if they didn't scatter, it would have fucking gotten to that point. But yeah, the parents were sitting there just filming it, not doing anything to stop the kids from fucking with this big-ass animal that could trample their kids, dude. Could trample them, dude. Forget about the kids, dude.
Well, have you seen that picture? It's a moose. It's a lady got out of her car to go get a good close-up of a moose. And the moose just walks over and just fucking hurls her like 6 feet with its horns. It doesn't look like it's even working hard.
Right. And just kind of
later again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and everybody's just like, get back in your car, lady. Because there's a good lead up to it where people are like, get back in your car, you crazy lady. That's not safe. Mm-hmm. Even like the park ranger from his truck is like, get back in your car. And she's fucking thrown a good 6 feet by that fucking moose. And the moose didn't look like it was working hard at all.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's probably about half the mass of a bison, I would say.
Yeah. Moose they're pretty big, man. You don't realize it because they're kind of goofy looking, and I think that's what fucks with people is they kind of think of these mooses. I don't know if it's Bullwinkle's fault or not, but they kind of view any kind of. I know it's moose, but fucking mooses just sounds better. You don't realize like those are pretty big animals, especially the males with their fucking big ass racks can fuck you up, man.
Well, it's like fucking. What is it? The Jellystone National Park, Yogi the bear. Like bears are super friendly,
Right.
Shit like that. Watching Yogi the bear.
Yeah. People are stupid. Like, I can't believe you think this is like you're at a zoo or something. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, even in zoos, if you follow the cages, you get pretty fucked.
Right.
If you fell in the fucking hippo cage, you're done.
Yeah. That's another one, dude. That's another animal that you don't realize how fucking lethal that thing is. But a hippo will fucking snap you in half, dude.
Well, the hippos kill more people than any other animal in Africa.
Yeah. Yeah, they're extremely aggressive. They can open their mouth like 150 degrees or some crazy shit. Just snap that shut and just bite right through your ass, dude.
Have you ever seen video of them throwing watermelons to hippos?
Mm-hmm.
Like the hippo will come over and open its mouth and they'll take a full big fucking, the big, not the circle ones you get, the small circles where it still takes 2 hands to lift.
Right.
But the big fucking
Like the big oval ones, dude.
Yeah, where they have seeds in it, like you used to get when you were a kid.
Right.
Pussies. They'll put them in the hippo's mouth, and it's like just they're so small compared to the mouth, and then the hippo just chomps it up like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like you eat a grape. It's just fucking pop, done, gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's freaking nuts, dude.
They just chaw on it like 2 or 3 times, and they're like, yum, num, num. Good watermelon. Give me another one.
Yeah. A nice little snack.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really aggressive. They're fast for how fat they are. They can move pretty fast on land or in the water.
Yeah.
And yeah. You know, especially the male, you know, the fucking male of the harem is ready to fuck anything up.
They look real goofy, but yeah, no, they're not friendly.
Yeah.
They're not weak or slow.
Yeah, they look like they're fat, goofy little fucking cartoonish like animals, and it's not really, you know, not true, man. They will fuck shit up.
Oh, these candle holders seem to be working great. I still like that I set up my whole fucking room for candlelight. The fucking hearth doesn't show up. God damn it. That would have been so fucking funny.
Yeah, I should have left it, man. It'll show up eventually. Now you're warned
well, and I got
it.
a big bag of like 100 tea lights, so.
Yeah, but if he actually listens to this, then he's going to know about it.
Nah,
he's quite surprised.
He's never going to listen. I doubt he would go through like the couple hours of this.
Yeah, that's true. He's a flake. He never made it that far. Although we did talk about it at the very beginning, too.
Yeah. What is it? Do you hear Foo Fighters rickrolled the audience at one of their concerts? They had Rick Astley come out, and then they started playing like a Nirvana song, like the music for a Nirvana song, and then he sang his song, you know, the fucking
Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yeah, and it worked. It meshes perfectly with the Nirvana music.
That's crazy, dude.
It perfectly in. It was pretty fucking funny.
Wow, that's insane, dude.
Yeah, I thought that was clever, and the audience loved it.
Yeah,
so, like, Billy Idol's making a comeback. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but Billy Idol did a duet with Miley Cyrus. They sang "More, More, More."
Oh wow!
I think the new song is "Rebel Yell." It's not "More, More, More."
Yeah.
But yeah, they did that song together. Well, you know, Miley Cyrus is an amazing voice, so obviously it worked. But Billy Idol's like almost like in his 60s, and he looks the same.
Yeah, he came up in the 80s, man. Yeah.
He's fucking ripped, just Jesus Christ style ripped.
I hadn't seen him since The Wedding Singer, since his little fucking what do you call it, cameo in The Wedding Singer.
Well, I think there's so little innovation in pop music now that there was just like Billy Idol is, you know, is revolutionary at this point, even though he's singing his old shit.
Yeah, like a new generation discovering that there was a time when decent music was made.
Well, when like rebellion was like real rebellion, like I'm gonna go fuck a lot of chicks and do a lot of drugs and do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
Fuck you, authority. As opposed to like
yeah, it was a more true anarchistic lifestyle. It wasn't I live with my parents and I'm gonna go fucking smash car windows.
Yeah,
anarchy, dude.
Exactly.
It was the real shit.
You know, like Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, like they got big because fucking that dude was doing a lot of fucking heroin.
Right.
They could write some great fucking tunes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Apparently, it does a really good job. Like a lot of writers used to fucking get all fucking opiated out and write, or they'd fucking go like they would get inspiration. Like I forget who it was, but like they would take it. It was something that didn't hit until it got into your intestines. So I don't know what opiate that was at the time, but it was a long time ago. But he would sit there. He would take the shit. And then go sit at a fucking park bench and just wait for it to take effect. And then fucking somehow, by people watching, you get inspiration to write. Although, again, after a while, that snaps shut and you're just fucked.
Yep. Well, and you can't do heroin forever, really. I mean, eventually it wears your body out. But
Yeah.
like I had a friend of mine who used to live in LA, and he was a musician down there, and he smoked heroin. But he played in all the big clubs like Whiskey a Go Go and the fucking he did all that shit.
Right.
You know, it just heroin makes good rock music apparently.
Right. Right.
Punk and rock, and it's all about heroin and cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Look at all of them, dude. The fucking obviously Nirvana's. Kurt Cobain was a serious heroin addict. Lane Staley from fucking. Lane Staley and Mike Starr from fucking Alice in Chains.
Almost assuredly the Rolling Stones, definitely.
Right. Yeah, apparently Keith Richards is like
heroin.
Well, Keith Richards, apparently he has turned a bunch of people onto heroin that ended up dying, and he's fucking still rolling along.
You know, at the end of the fucking nuclear war, it's going to be fucking Keith Richards literally smoking an actual cockroach.
Right. Smoking a roach.
He's smoking a real cockroach going, this is not what I thought. I'm not getting high after this.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy's got to be a fucking alien.
Yeah, the Beatles was all about fucking LSD, though. They were all about LSD and shrooms and pot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially towards the end there. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, there's a ton of people who OD from fucking heroin. Although the dude from LA, he had the best story I've ever fucking heard about crazy girlfriend shit. His girlfriend was kind of one of those like on again, off again. We're fighting, we're not fighting. I hate you, I love you kind of thing because they're drug and shit.
Right.
And so some dude was chatting up his girlfriend and just stupid comments. This Jews kill all the good guys. Yeah, dude, I'm sure that's exactly what it was. Fucking Jews.
Yeah, Miggy, Mike Starr and Lane Staley and Mike Starr both OD'd on heroin. Mike Starr was clean for a while though, man. Like he was on. Remember, he was on. I don't know if you remember, but he was on Celebrity Rehab.
No, I never watched that. That always just seemed like what do you call it? Just like I don't want to watch somebody in rehab. You know, like it just seemed depressing.
Yeah, well, it was his was pretty hard, pretty tugging on the heartstrings because like Lane Staley's mom came and fucking talked, and fucking like if you're not fucking weeping, listening to her talk about her fucking son dying and
yeah, exactly,
there's something wrong with it. Yeah. Although it's nice because he was a lunatic when he first went in there. Like he was such a fucking like. Just on edge, fucking asshole, but he actually came out of it, being pretty decent after a while. But yeah, even he, even after going through that shit, if you listen, I think Dr. Drew talks about it because Mike at one point was like doing pretty well, and then he was like, "No, I'm gonna get back in a band. I'm gonna move away from here," and Dr. Drew was like, "No, it's too soon. Like you're not that clear. You're not that solid in your sobriety yet."
Yeah, you're not there yet, kind of deal.
Yeah, and apparently, like within a few months, like Dr. Drew was like, finds out like Mike Starr was like, "Yeah, my back's really bothering me, so I'm gonna go to the doctor." And he's like, "Don't fucking do it." And fucking sure enough, within a couple of weeks, he was fucking dead, dude.
Yep. Hence the reason I don't watch those shows.
Yeah.
I don't generally watch things. I don't want to see real sad things. I want to see fucking fake sad shit.
Nah.
If it's
like intervention, I'm guessing
teary-eyed and then fucking move on. If it's real sad shit, I gotta really feel.
Right. So like intervention shows like that, I'm guessing, are not for you.
Well, also keep in mind, I work in mental health, and I deal with a lot of like people who are on drugs, and like that kind of shit is not.
Right.
Not something I already do that for a living.
Right. So it would be like watching yourself at work, basically.
Yeah, really. It's not that. Well, I mean, I don't do that stuff anymore. I used to do that when I worked day shift, but I do a sleepover nights. But there's a couple fun things like fucking what do you call it? Like there's a couple guys who were trying to come up with an excuse to leave the program or justify it in their own heads.
Oh, Jesus.
So they could go do meth.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just going to take off for the night. And they're like, oh no, my grandma died. I got to go visit my mom. And we're saying, no, you can't go do that at like fucking midnight. That's ridiculous.
Right.
And they just went off and went to go smoke meth. They didn't visit anybody's fucking relative or any of that bullshit.
Right. Was the story true about her grandmother dying, or was it?
Oh yeah, no, they were using it to try to fucking make us, grant them permission or something. Like we were dumb.
Yeah. Like, no, this is the first time any of us have ever dealt with addicts. So go ahead, we totally believe you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And the difference is, so like a lot of people who are in a lot of these programs are either they're voluntary or court orders, but in mental health, it's usually conserved, which essentially means they have all the authority of a minor, and that there's another person who has all the authority over them that essentially a parent would.
Wow.
So they're being entrusted to us by essentially like a parent, legally speaking, and so we can't give permission for things like that at all.
Right. Yeah, there'd be no reason to open yourself up to that kind of liability for one thing.
Yeah.
And then, that makes sense. Yeah.
Let's
call your mom. Let's call your mom and see what she thinks.
Well, when they leave, we have to call the police. We have to call the police and file a missing persons.
Wow.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, you're saving. You don't know lives you might be fucking saving doing that.
Oh no, the vast majority of people do fine in our programs and either move on to either fail miserably or do great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just keep cycling through the same thing. But there are some people who don't have to come back and don't have to go back into the mental hospital and end up doing really well too. So it runs the gamut.
Yeah, although I'd imagine what I've heard, even the best of places, the success rate, at least on the first time, is pretty goddamn low.
I'd say 5 to 10%.
Yeah, the best places are like maybe 17
even
or 18%.
Even on like the 20th time.
Right.
Like regardless of how many times they've been through, I'd say our success rate is probably 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
5 to 10% more than they would have gotten just sitting in a mental institution.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's
right.
a waste.
Yeah, it's still a better chance. Yeah, and it's hard to tell who fucking really wants it. You know what I mean? Like who's actually serious about it.
The key to the kind of work I do is you have to be able to divorce yourself from the consequences of other people's choices. So you can't live or die by a client's success or failure as if you were the one in control of it.
Right.
They're going to make their own choices.
Mm-hmm.
They're not responsible for the choices they make.
Yeah.
If bad things happen, it's on them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the reason the way they do all these things is they've never had to deal with any real consequences. And it's always been dismissed because they have a mental illness.
Right.
So if they have to deal with the consequences and they don't just have everything taken away and so that they don't have to deal with it, a lot of times they'll make some real positive changes.
Right.
That's what makes
that's the thing. Is you keep getting away with it. It's why fucking bother stopping? Why change?
Yeah. It's like
it's got to be. You got to really hit rock bottom before you're. I thought I was there, and I thought I was fucking. I mean, I don't have any serious mental illnesses, but I thought I was there. I checked myself into rehab the first time, and I would have fucking bet my life that I would never fucking use again, and I didn't make it 6 months, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can justify when you really fucking want the drug. But you're also talking about people going off of medications. The majority of the issue that the clients I work with have is either their mental illness will cycle and get super fucking extreme all of a sudden.
Mm.
So sort of like, it's sort of cycling like where like for 2 or 3 years they'll be doing really good and then suddenly like all their symptoms will just suddenly get really powerful.
Oh, wow.
Like just
got flu for no reason.
Yeah, nobody really knows why that happens. Otherwise, we could, deal with it. But you just got to keep reinforcing. Like you got to learn how to manage symptoms. You got to talk to your doctor and get your medications changed when you need your medications changed.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be on top of it. And the people that really will work for it, they do good.
Yeah, that's
the end of days. Oh,
pretty much the determining
the
factor.
eclipse, right? The end of days is the eclipse tomorrow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Apparently, the majority of the areas where it hits like a full-on eclipse are in red states. So there was a Boston Globe thing about how Trump supporters are getting the eclipse. I didn't even look at it. I was just like, fucking lame sauce.
Oh my God, it's amazing how everything can manage to be tied into Trump is evil. Trump made the eclipse only happen in the red states.
Well, fucking, there's a fucking lawmaker in Missouri. I want to say like a state politician who was calling for like saying like out loud, I hope the president's assassinated. Somebody.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Telling her to like step down, and she's like, "Well, I'm not going to step down," and there's a bunch of bullshit over that. And I'm just like, ignore her. Yeah. She wants attention. Ignore the bitch.
Right. Yeah, but still, I think it's funny that they actually or not sick, but the Secret Service has to fucking investigate. Like, what did you mean by that? Are you fucking planning something?
Yeah, it's like when Ted Nugent was saying, Obama can suck on my machine gun. The Secret Service went and talked to him. They have to. It's their job.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And even he'll say it. He's like, yeah, no, they did their job. They came out. They talked to me. They realized that I was making political commentary, and it was no big deal.
Right.
He's not mad.
A little hyperbole.
Yeah. He's not mad about it. He's like, the Secret Service are doing their job, and if you got nothing to hide, then you got nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
But
I still can't believe people are comfortable wishing death on people.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah.
I don't want people to die. Well, maybe the leader of North Korea, but that's that's maybe a whole different level. I mean, we know he's killed a lot of people.
Right.
Shit, like crazy fucking torture.
Yeah, it's true. We kind of forget, like, he's kind of a joke, but you forget, he's killed a lot of motherfuckers.
Oh, he fed a bunch of family members to fucking dogs to fucking make sure there were no rivals.
Mm-hmm.
But Miggy
make sure there were no threats to his throne.
Yeah. Miggy Talk is talking about how many people are going to go blind or get their eyes messed up in the eclipse. I don't think the eclipse really will mess up your eyes that much. I don't think people are going to get fucked up.
No, you got to literally stare directly at it for a while.
Yeah, I think if you wear like a good pair of dark glasses and just don't stare at it for the entire time, you'll probably be fine.
Right.
Yeah, there's like some sort of special glasses you're supposed to get that people are trying to sell, but I think that's all a bunch of horse shit.
Yeah.
If you got a good polarized pair of sunglasses or good UV protection sunglasses, at least 100 or 200 UV protection, you'll probably be no worry.
Yeah. Yeah, if not, you can sue Stabby. So
yeah,
for all he's worth.
Let it be known, neither of us are doctors or lawyers, so none of the advice we give on this show should be taken seriously. All for back.
Yeah.
At least I'll say I'm a fucking idiot. So
it is really not worth suing either of us at this point.
They wouldn't get any money from me.
Right.
I just like to make the disclaimer as though I think it's like that there's enough people actually listening that somebody will sue us.
Right. Like we're going to actually cause some kind of a negligent thing to happen.
No. Apparently they'll say that'll fuck them up. I wonder though how much of that is just like fucking propaganda from the people who fucking sell the glasses.
Right. Like, no, you need these special ones.
Whereas like as long as you wear good heavy dark glasses, I think you'll be all right. And like I said, don't stare at it the whole time.
Yeah. There's literally no point when you should be staring directly at the sun, whether it's an eclipse or not. But still,
stupid comments calling her Jew lawyer right now.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I think the danger is that if you're where the moon blocks the sun entirely, you're still getting a lot of the UV rays. Mm-hmm. And if you stare at it for the entire time with no dark glasses of any kind, no sort of protection, that it could fuck your eyes up.
Right.
But I don't know how permanent it would be, or if you'll actually go blind.
Right.
That sounds like an old wives'
permanent damage, but I don't think it would make you go blind. Like it could if you stared at it the whole time. Because how long is it? It's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds or something. It's like almost 3 minutes.
Well, but it's not bright, so you stare with your eyes fully opened.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like squinting. Like usually if you look at the sun for a second, you squint and have to look away. But during the eclipse, you can keep looking, but you're still getting a lot of the rays.
Right. Or it could be right. I'm saying right, but I have no idea if you're right, dude.
I'm looking through Google, so clearly Google will tell me the truth.
Yeah, the internet's. Well, as long as it's not a political thing. Or wait, have they made? I guess they have made that political, saying it's only going over the red states. Yeah, yeah. Just trying to find anything that's not cannot be politicized. Yeah, or can be racist. Or dude, did you see the? I don't know if you saw this, but they apparently did a thing. Somebody was saying that the automatic soap dispensers in bathrooms, like in public bathrooms, are racist. Like they did a thing where it showed like a white hand getting a bunch of fucking soap and a black hand not getting as much, and saying that those are racist.
That's hilarious. So look at it says, well, it might be tempting to brush off the warnings while looking up at this eclipse bare eye. Don't. The light of an eclipse really can damage your eyes. The warnings of total blindness may be overstated. It's called solar retinopathy, depending on how you pronounce that. And it occurs when a bright light from the sun floods the retina on the back of the eyeball.
Right.
It overstimulates them. They release a flood of communication chemicals that can damage the retina. The damage is often painless, so people don't often realize that they're doing to their vision. Oh, thank God the video didn't load. I fucking hate the auto videos.
Yeah, it's fucking.
People high on drugs and stare at the sun for long periods of time, causing serious damage. Adherents of sun worshipping religious sects are also victims.
High on drugs, stare at the sun for long periods of time.
That's fucking hilarious.
I can see doing that like on acid, because you can't feel shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Staring at the sun
on the right kind of drugs, it would be fun.
Yeah. Because I remember doing that, like being high on acid and going to swimming and going. I just kept going under and opening my eyes and like looking up at the surface and like watching shit. And I didn't realize it. Like I didn't feel anything, but I went swimming there, the same spot. Like it was like a Holiday Inn or something. I went swimming there like a week later, and like there was a shitload of chlorine in that pool, like a fucking. Like like almost a painful amount when I'd opened my eyes, but I couldn't feel it when I was on the fucking acid, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, that was actually one of my worst. My one like horrible trip, dude. My worst trip ever. Yeah, it was a fun story. But yeah, I remember coming out of that afterwards. Actually, it was weird. After I got out of the pool, like I felt okay, felt normal almost. And then we smoked weed, and the shit came back with a vengeance. And I panicked, dude, and I had to get out. Like, I went outside, right? We're in the hallway, and the fucking hallway is fucking moving, like, kind of like up and down, but like in a circular motion, dude.
Okay.
Like, the only way I could walk is if I looked straight down at my feet in front of me. Like, if I looked up at all, like, it was just too fucking crazy.
Because what you were seeing, you would try to correct for shit that ain't happening.
Right. Because the fucking, I knew in my head, like, even though you're fucking insane when you're on acid, on the, seeing shit, I knew enough that the hallway wasn't really moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And then we get outside, and there's absolutely no breeze, but all the bushes are fucking shaking moving and shaking like crazy, dude. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, it got pretty fucking bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it was a lot worse later, but I'll fucking leave that alone for now. The point is, there was a lot of chlorine in that pool.
Oh, yeah.
I go off on these fucking tangents, dude, and I just can't shut up.
No, what is it? I was going to tell that story about my buddy and his girlfriend that was pretty fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot where I left off on that, so fuck it. I wanted to bring it up just in case somebody remembered it and just not talk about it anyway.
Oh man!
I think that should be what we call these fucking Google Hangouts, like fucking tangents. Half the shit is just going off and being like, oh yeah, fucking we go off from weird little corners and shit.
Yeah. I wonder how we'd do if we actually did like a format thing. Like, okay, we're going to talk about this for this long, and then I think it would suck. To be honest with you, I don't know.
I don't think we could.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think we could do it, but I think we would not enjoy it at all, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I could pull it off for one episode or whatever, but I'd be like, that fucking sucked.
Oh yeah. Did you hear about the guy that got stabbed because he had the wrong haircut?
Oh yeah.
He had the shaved sides of the head and the short hair on top, and they decided he was a neo-Nazi, so they just tried to stab him.
Yeah. No, that's the one that got hit with a big ass pipe. He got hit on the top of the head with a big ass pipe.
This is a different guy.
Right?
This is a dude who was just getting a milkshake somewhere in Colorado, and somebody was like, "Oh, you're one of the neo-Nazis," and then tried to stab him.
Oh wow. Okay. No, I saw one
this
where
related to any sort of protest, any kind of rally, anything. Dude was just going out to buy some fucking milkshake.
Jesus, dude. Yeah, no, I don't know. The one I saw was he did kind of have like a Richard Spencer haircut, but still, yeah. But somebody hit him with a fucking big ass pipe, dude, right on the top of his head, and he had a big gash, like a 3-inch gash on.
I think we covered that, like either the last one or the one before.
Yeah, did we? I thought that was one that just happened.
Oh no, that was the guy that got stabbed in the stomach. Never mind.
Yeah, the one that had the gash across his stomach.
Okay,
we definitely talked about that. Yeah, no, this is the one where they had to shave the head all around the wound, and you could see it, just a huge gash, dude. And like I don't understand how nothing to realize they could fucking kill somebody, dude.
Well, and wasn't he just some random dude?
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was because of his haircut. They thought he was a fucking neo-Nazi or something because of his fucking haircut. So they hit him in the head with a big fucking pipe, dude.
When people were talking about race, the fact that these people are like, "You have the wrong haircut. We're gonna fucking kill you."
Right? Yeah.
Should really tell the lie to the fucking reality of what these people are shoveling.
Right. Oh my god.
So I have a map of the. That explains what happened in Virginia, actually.
Oh, really?
So I got this off a YouTube video I was watching, and if you look at it, both the exits here, this is how everything went down. This Penn 1 and Penn 2 were where the free speech rally guys were.
Okay.
And the police basically forced them to go through Antifa to get into the park, because the exit 1 and 2, they had to enter and exit through the same places.
Jesus, dude.
And then the police tried to shut it down and force them to exit back through Antifa again with no protection. So they kept them away for like a short period of time, and then decided that it was unlawful protest, which is completely not within their authority.
Yeah.
It had already been forced through by a federal judge. It was not within their authority to determine that.
Yeah, because didn't you say they originally tried to deny him the permit at all, right? And then the ACLU got involved to say...
First, the state tried to prevent the permit. The city denied the permit. The federal judge went in and said, nope, that's it. It's there. Then the city tried to move it, but they don't have that authority anymore because the federal judge took that authority away.
Right.
The federal judge was like, you no longer have the authority to do anything about this. It's going to happen. And it's what happened there and at that time and at that place. And that's it.
Yeah.
And they...
There has to be a fucking lawsuit here. I mean, you were fucking opening people up to an incredible amount of danger.
The state police separated the group into 2 smaller groups, ringed them around on all sides except for the one that Antifa was on.
Right.
And so the police stayed and kept everything peaceful until Antifa started lobbing tear gas grenades into the crowd.
Jesus, dude.
And this is in Charlottesville. And then basically everybody was forced through Antifa to get out.
Yeah. Dude, they really should. There has to be a lawsuit in there, dude, against the police.
Well, this is what I'm saying, that a lot of what bothers me right now about the way everybody's handling the Antifa stuff on the right wing. I absolutely agree that they should keep doing more rallies, and they should, say, look, we're not a bunch of racist Nazis. Yes, there is a small fraction who try to pretend they're part of us, but they're not our people. They're just fucking... those fucking wacky races that are there all the time. Nothing you can do to stop it.
Yeah.
But freedom of speech applies to them too, as much as you hate them and we hate them. Right. Everybody gets to talk.
Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't. I don't see any white supremacists as much of a threat, particularly.
Okay, so Here's the difference is, in the past, the white supremacists used to go out and like attack people and promote violence and crime. The majority of the people who are white nationalists are not white supremacists. The majority of them are a little bit racist, but for the majority have been sort of like pushed into this situation where they feel like all of their rights have been taken away. And in some respects, they have points. Like there's some issues with affirmative action and things like that. But they see everything as like this huge attack, and they're overreacting in a lot of ways to the mixing of the races or whatever you want to call it. But they're not like let's go out on weekends and beat us up some niggers and let's go fucking hang us a nigger. They're not the kind of racists from way back in the day when they were super violent. These groups aren't even like the KKK where they're like, we'll get rid of them sooner or later. They're just sort of like, look, we just want the rights of white people to be protected. And we want to be able to form our own segregated white communities, which is a little bit racist, It is. It is racist, not a little bit. It is racist.
Yeah, although, again, how many minorities are now calling for their own segregation,
Well, that's the thing that really bugs me is they're not acknowledging how racist BLM is. And how
although I think
BLM
they have, is it BLM that has been classified as a terrorist organization?
Antifa might be, but BLM should be. I mean, they were literally pulling people out of their cars for being white in some of the riots and beating the hell out of them.
He white, beat his ass. He white.
And
that's
multiple
fucking
areas,
scary, dude.
They were doing just as much property damage as Antifa. Everybody wants to blame just Antifa, but Antifa was not the only ones doing that. BLM does it too. And both of those groups are extremely violent and should not be allowed. Should not be allowed.
It took me a long time.
As soon as they show up, the police should be arresting them all.
And the fact that they can do that and have their fucking faces covered and Antifa, like, how are you know what's going to happen by now? You have to fucking know what's going to happen, and you're allowing them to be covered up so they can't be identified, dude.
Well, and in most of the states and areas that they're allowing it, it's literally a violation of the law.
And they're letting them
have public gatherings with masks on.
It's fucking insane, dude. Like, I don't understand why it's happening, dude.
Ironically,
I kind of do, but
the mask laws were originally put in place because of things like the KKK.
Right.
Should now be being applied to like Antifa and BLM and stuff like that, and the Black Bloc in general, but they're not being done. Now, it should be, to be fair, there are a lot of BLM people who are in it for the right reasons and are nonviolent and are trying to make a difference.
Yeah, the white people.
Antifa is really all violent, but BLM is sort of like a lot of them are violent and a lot of them are not. So it's it's tough. And I think
sorry, that was a bad joke for me to make. I apologize, dude.
Oh, what?
I basically said, the white people in BLM are the ones that are not.
Oh. I didn't catch that. That's fucking funny.
Probably for the best. I guess I shouldn't have drawn attention to it.
I didn't even realize that. I'm not offended by that shit. Fuck it.
Oh, man.
If everybody can't be the target of a joke, then what's the point?
Yeah, it is. I don't know, man. I just find it insane that these groups have gotten these passes for so long, especially Antifa, because their stated goal is kind of
legitimately they want to destroy America. They want to fucking take it over.
Yeah, they want anarchy and communism.
They literally promote the violent overthrow of the government to enforce anarchy and communism. It's like, it's not that they want anarchy and communism. I don't care. You can talk all you want about that till you're blue in the face. But when you literally promote the violent overthrow of the government in order to force it on people, we got problems.
Right. Yeah. It would be nice if human nature was such that anarchy would be fine, but it's just not. Just do your own thing. Nobody needs to be in charge of anything or enforce any laws.
That they think anarchy will result in communism. Look, they're mutually exclusive. If you have communism, you have a system of government. If you have anarchy, you have no government or no system. And no system. You can't have both, because the second you have communism, you no longer have anarchy.
Yeah,
the second you enter, you no longer have communism. It's not how they
well,
cannot exist.
Well, no, but their kind of communism would be different than all the other kinds of communism that have happened. Because
What is it?
special.
Sargon of Akkad said, "Utopia is just a few murders away."
All right. Jesus, dude.
It's always
That's
just a
pretty good.
few more murders away, and I'm just like, that's pretty accurate.
Jesus.
For the right wing too, though, there's some right wing extremists. Some of the alt right are like fucking. They promote fascism and they want to fucking.
Yeah.
They
And I really don't understand how they expect a white ethno state to happen peacefully. Like they might actually genuinely think that, and they maybe probably do, but I just don't understand how they expect that to happen peacefully.
So I make it a habit to listen to a lot of varied points of view, including some of the white nationalists. And Millennial Woes have actually been on his channel and did a debate once. I don't know if it's still up, but I debated another white nationalist over the IQ thing. And, you know, it was interesting. Millennial Woes, I could not be a nicer guy. I don't agree with any of his politics. I think he's a fucking, I think he's a loon and a racist. But as far as like how he was extremely respectful, he moderated the debate extremely well, and it's one of the things I have to say about that I learned about debates online, that none of them have moderators, and that's what they're all lacking. Every debate that's happened on YouTube needs to fucking have moderators from now on, because it makes a huge difference. But anyway.
Yeah, and one that can mute whoever they need to mute.
What Millennial Woes was talking about a lot of times is not violently expelling minorities, but offering money for like them not to breed or to move out of the country voluntarily, giving them money, like paying for them to leave the country. And like, if you think our country is terrible, you can go back to Africa and you can, you know, live without the white people and it's all good. And it was all non-violent ways of doing it, essentially. And dude, it's super fucking racist. Like they all, we're not racist. We don't hate black people. Super fucking racist.
We just want them out of our country.
We just want to pay you not to breed.
Right.
No, dude, that's fucking racist. But I never called them on the racism, because there's no point.
Right. They don't get it themselves. Like they I think they genuinely believe it. Like, you know what I mean?
If you just go in and attack somebody, there's no amount of times you can punch somebody to make them believe you.
Right.
Eventually, they may just out of fear pretend to believe you.
Right.
But you're not changing anybody's mind by punching them. Likewise, by going in and starting a fight over some nonsense that's not worth, you know.
Right. That you know is pointless. Like
telling somebody they're racist doesn't fucking matter. Nobody's going to change their mind. And suddenly be like, oh my God, I just realized I'm a racist now that you said it. Whereas me going in and being civil and arguing back and forth about the science may not have changed their minds right now, but maybe they'll think about it later, or maybe some of the people who are listening to the cast who are on the fence may be like, oh, you know what, that makes more sense. Maybe they're wrong.
Right. Yeah, it at least has a chance to change minds. But the other ways really don't.
More speech. That's the answer.
Yeah, the other ways are just going to make people defensive and shut down and not listen, dude.
Having civil discourse probably made more of a movement towards maybe drawing some people away from that kind of thought. And probably, you know, I'm probably not, because I'm not a very good debater, but I'm not a master debater. Ha 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 ha. But you know, other people who are more intelligent than myself can engage in more civil discourse. It would be great. The problem is, like, you know, people like Antifa don't want to talk.
Yeah. No, they just want to fucking rip shit down, dude.
Yeah, like they won't come and debate. They won't come and talk. And I'm not sure how you handle that other than, you know, get the police to arrest them and, you know, keep them from, protect the citizens from the violence and the destruction.
Yeah, and although, you know what, I think this one in Boston, the fact that there was like essentially no white supremacists or any of that at this one, other than I think they like, hey, there was one person that was wearing this shirt. Like they found like one or two, like a vast majority of them were not.
Well, so my brother is almost a punch a Nazi kind of guy. And he was saying there was like an old guy who had his left hand up, and that's really the KKK salute. And so I mean, the people right now are basically just punching at fucking conspiracy nonsense.
Wow.
Now, you take enough pictures of somebody, you're eventually going to get them with their left or right hand raised up in what looks like a salute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's nuts. But I think this is going to actually turn a lot of people, man. The fact that they attacked for no fucking reason. You know, I mean, before it wasn't really much of a reason either, but at least they thought they were. They could pretend that they thought they were Nazis, but that's not the case this time.
I mean, you can go online and see the video and see the truth that the government and the government officials are lying about, and that news stories are lying about. And you can actually go see the real video and see the difference between the groups of people. You have people dressed up in like defensive gear, and you have people dressed up in masks and carrying weapons.
Right.
So who came to start the fight? Clearly, it wasn't the people in the defensive gear.
Yeah. Otherwise, they would have the fucking weapons too.
Yeah. Well, no, some of the alt-right carry weapons now, but that's after Portland. Who could blame them?
Right.
But they generally just carry like sticks. Like Antifa tends to carry like bottles, weapons. They throw water balloons full of piss and shit and paint. They make tear gas.
And the police as well as the other protesters, the other protesters. Look, see, I'm trying to fucking get out of that mindset. Like, nobody was protesting. Because you're referring to them as protesters and counter-protesters, and it wasn't. It was a fucking rally.
And it was a rally and terrorists.
Right.
In my mind, they're terrorists.
Yeah, I don't even want to just call them fucking agitators. Like, they're straight up fucking terrorists.
Yeah. To my mind, they're just terrorists. It's not. If you go there to force your point of view on somebody and to take away their rights through fear, violence, and extreme actions, then you're not a protester. You're a terrorist.
Right.
It's not drastically different from blowing yourself up, other than the amount of fatalities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I could believe. Did you see the footage of the guy? There was a dude with a faux hawk, where he was kind of arguing with one group, and a dude comes up on the side and fucking sucker punches him, dude.
Oh, the fucking amount of the amount of Antifa who sucker punch people or come at them from the side where they're not looking is like sickening. That's the majority of their assault.
Yeah, it's fucking cowardly, dude. And the dude walked away like he was proud of himself, dude.
Well, which is why I won't go to San Francisco.
Wow.
Because in person, if I were there in person, like you see all these people standing around, you would see me just jump on the guy and start chewing on his fucking head. I mean, I'd lose my shit.
Yeah, I'd be ready to snap his fucking neck, dude.
No, I wouldn't be ready to.
I'd
be trying to. I'd be actively
trying. That's what I mean. I'd be fucking grabbing him and fucking have him in a chokehold, choking the fucking life out of him. Like, I don't understand how you walk up. And it wasn't even a guy that was talking. They were arguing face to face, and this other guy just walks up from the fucking left and fucking sucks him. He doesn't
agree with the guy's politics. He thought it was okay.
And just walks away. And
nobody does anything. That's the part that.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, no violence. Like, that's all they did was like, they were like, hey, no violence. That was all they did.
I would have just fucking launched.
Yeah, it's unreal, dude.
I think about when I was in kindergarten, because like there's that for people that there's that like that tipping point of violence. So when I was in kindergarten, I used to wait for the bus, and there's these guys who used to beat me up all the time, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I'd go out of my house from like kindergarten to first grade, I'd just get beat up.
Jesus.
So I've a lot of experience getting beaten up. I'm real good at it. I don't work that much anymore because I'm very in pain.
Okay.
But this one dude just finally went too far, and he's like, "Your mom's a bitch." And you're a kindergartner, there's no rational thought like, "What a fucking dummy! He doesn't know my mom. Why do I care what he says?"
Right.
My mom is one of my gods. You can't defame my god. And I literally just went for his throat. And this dude was way bigger than me, and he was not expecting it. And I just took it down and started beating on him.
Nice. So was it like the Christmas Story? Or,
I don't know. I don't see.
You know what I'm talking about? Wait, is it a Christmas Story? The one with the fucking Red Ryder BB gun thing.
I know I've seen that movie, but it's been a long, long time.
Where there's two bullies, and there's one time where he finally just loses it and fucking just beats the shit out of one of the fucking guys, dude.
Yeah, it might have been. It probably looked like that scene, less dramatic or like graceful.
Right. He's just, it's a pretty good scene, dude. Because he's like literally cussing.
A kindergartner going after like a fourth grader.
Right.
You know, there's this little kid and this really big kid, and suddenly the little kid is like hanging on the big kid's chest, beating him on the face.
Right. Oh man, if only they had YouTube back then, dude.
Oh man,
and all the cameras. That would be an interesting video, dude.
oh man, these kids used to fuck me up so bad though. Like at one point, they fucking pretended they wanted to be my friends, and fucking tricked me into a industrial, like construction dumpster, and then took away the ladder that you get out with.
Jesus,
And
dude.
then just fucking left.
Wow.
I mean, these are some fucked up kids. This is a fucked up neighborhood too.
I bet, dude. God
And,
damn.
well, I mean, I got scared and I put because it was a construction dumpster. I just put one of the fucking many long boards up against one of the fucking walls and crawled out.
It's not like I was still, the fact that they didn't give a shit. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kids can be goddamn cruel, man.
Well, and like, no, don't, you know, this is a long time ago. I'm well beyond it now. It's not like anything. It's just fucking wacky stories now. But
right.
no, these people are out of their fucking minds. Like some kid stole my fucking big wheel. I don't know if you remember what those were. They were little plastic tricycles.
Oh yeah, the big front one and the big front wheel and the two little wheels in the back. Yeah.
Some kid actually stole my big wheel, and my dad had to go over and get it back from this kid. Literally had to threaten to kick his ass. It's like, you're stealing shit from my kid. I'll beat your ass. I don't care if you're in high school.
Jesus, dude. Wait, it was a high school kid that stole a fucking big wheel?
Yeah, from a fucking kindergartner.
Jesus, dude. That is a fucked up neighborhood. Wow.
Yeah, literally, my dad had to go down and like threaten to beat his ass.
Jesus. Yeah.
Which was ironic because my dad was always threatening to beat my ass. So, like, I was like, but he very rarely will he spank you. I don't know what you're worried about, big person.
Right.
I didn't say it. Maybe that's what I was probably thinking.
Right. God damn.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Oh, that's the only reason, like, when I went into, like junior high and high school, I wasn't a huge bully. You know, because I was like a fat kid, but I was also pretty big and a lot stronger than a lot of the other kids. And I probably could have turned into like one of those, oh, nobody wants to be my friend, so I'll just be like the worst person in the world bully kind of thing.
Right.
I think it, you know, to be honest, I think it probably benefited me more than it hurt me ultimately. You know, going through that.
Yeah, I guess for me, I was always, I think because I started school so early and the fact that I kind of matured later, like even later than average, whatever. Because I started kindergarten like right after I turned 4, like a month after I turned 4.
Oh shit, you must have been tiny as fuck.
Yeah. So like it wasn't until high school really that I got, you know, actually it was literally between junior high and high school. I shot up like 4 or 5 inches in like 3 fucking months. And I went from being one of the smallest kids to one of the fucking biggest kids, like in a few months, dude. But yeah, for the longest time, like until high school, I was one of the smallest kids in my class, in my grades. So I guess that kind of kept me from being a fucking bully.
Yeah, because you knew exactly what it was like to get shit on. So finally, when you turn around and shit on everyone else, you're like, nah, I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm being fucking awful to be shit on.
Right. Yeah. Although some people still do that. They're like, all right, now it's my turn to fucking shit on people. You know?
Oh, you know, there's things I did in high school that were fucked up to other people. I did some mean things, but I wasn't like a complete bully. So.
Right. Yeah, none of us. Yeah, we're all wacky kids, dude, doing fucking crazy shit.
There was this dude we used to call Duncan Hines, and he was a little gullible because he was pretty religious. And I told him there was a cult out to kill him. They were going to frost him to death.
God damn, dude.
And he believed me. He fucking got his dad to come down, and they called me to the office. And they're all serious, like, we're going to call the police, and we're going to get these people, and you better tell us what's going on. And so I was like, oh, what was this guy? He was 6 foot tall, blonde. He had this big scar down one side of his face.
Damn.
Well, because I knew they couldn't prove I was lying. But if I made it crazy enough, there's no way they would call the cops. So I've always been really fucking smart. But I didn't realize the dude believed me. Like, I thought he realized that we were all just fucking with him over the whole Diamond Himes thing, and I was just making up this crazy story. I told him after we were out of the office and we were going back to class because they couldn't do anything to me.
Right.
And I was like, dude, what are you out of your fucking mind? Of course I wasn't serious. Who frosts people to death? You fucking
right. Yeah, that was throwing me. Like, how is that believable?
Yeah. Oh, no, his fucking dad believed it. His dad was freaked out. Then I felt really bad because I'm like, how fucked up is this kid's life? And I'm not helping. You know?
Right.
You know, you look back, it's a funny story, but it's also kind of like, this guy was already getting his head fucked with whatever religious shit, whether his dad believed that kind of nonsense, you know.
Jeez. Ah, well.
Yeah, hopefully he's not one of the fucking audience members like, I fucking remember you.
That was you.
Told me you were going to frost me to death. They were going to frost me to death. I got to sleep. But, you know, like, that's the worst I ever got. Like, I didn't beat anyone up or, like, push people around or anything like that.
Yeah. I didn't do much. Yeah. I'm trying to think. No, I was just a smart ass, dude. That's about it for me.
Well, the little guys usually are, though.
Although,
especially if you're fast. If you can run fast, you know, and get away from the guys, it usually pays off to be a smart ass.
Right. Yeah, he's a fine. I'm thinking more later. I mean, I was always kind of a smart ass, but it got really bad. Actually, probably in my mid-teens. Yeah, I got vicious, dude. Or like I would make fucking people cry, like people that are essentially adults, fucking cry, and I'd be like, "Why are you crying?" Like, I'm just kidding, but like, because I would never be like sound mean, but I was saying incredibly mean things about people, you know, and like I would do it with a fucking smile on my face, but like there were a couple of occasions where, you know, fucking women, you know, usually, but they would fucking cry and start crying. I'd be like, "What the fuck is your problem?" I'm like, dude, I'm just joking, you know? And fucking, so yeah, I kind of had to learn to tone that down. Like, you know, I didn't realize, like, you know, because I was pretty angry. I didn't realize it. Like, my anger kind of came out like that instead of physically. So, you know, it took me a long time to realize you can be angry and not be violent. You know, like, that didn't occur to me for a long time. Like, oh shit, maybe I'm doing this because I'm pissed off about whatever I'm pissed off about, and I'm just taking it out on this poor person who may be a fucking annoying or whatever, but they don't deserve fucking me making them cry. Yeah. So that kind of sucked, because I feel bad anytime I'm fucking making somebody cry.
Well, yeah, of course you feel bad. You know, just because you're angry, like that sort of like that's the moment where the anger just sort of like fucking dissipates all of a sudden. You're like, oh shit, I gone too far. I feel really bad, and I'm not like that anger is sort of fucking quashed in like the guilt. But then it'll circle back and fucking the guilt will make you angry again.
Right. Yeah, it'll just fuel somebody else getting fucking the wrath from me unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it took me a while, dude. It took me a while to learn how to be sarcastic and, you know, like, where the person I'm making fun of could laugh at whatever I was saying, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took
Bringing
a while.
them in on the joke instead of making them the joke.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole laughing with instead of laughing at, or whatever you want to fucking call it.
Although I'll tell you what, that other skill, making them the joke, that could pay off if you get up on stage and do like insult comics.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I should have nurtured it more instead of, you know, trying to become a decent human being.
No, probably not. I don't know. Generally, they got to be able to be at least somewhat in on the joke for it to work.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Carrot needs to learn to be sarcastic. Sarcasm is only some form of humor. It's just the highest form of humor, Carrot. Sorry. Terrible sarcastic joke.
Yeah. Although, yeah, it definitely can be, dude. They say it's a fucking the recourse of a weak mind, and there's a lot of weird shit about sarcasm, but fuck that. Yeah. Sarcasm's great, dude.
Well, Mickey also apparently does a lot of the sarcastic kind of assholery, so he understands where you're coming from.
Right.
According to the chat. I've been trying to keep them in.
Oh, no, I'm reading it now, too, but I'm horrible keeping up with it. Like I'll watch it for a while and then I fucking end up forgetting about it.
Me too. I keep looking for stuff to keep going with.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, it definitely took me a while to, you know. Although again, it was mainly just me being a fucking angry kid and wanting other people to be fucking miserable. I think. Not, I was not on a. I didn't realize it on a conscious level, but now looking back on it, it's like fuck you. Life sucks. I fucking hate everything. You're gonna fucking suffer for it.
I was like a weird kid. Like I've never responded well to authority, but I've never been like a rebel. If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. No, I got
I'm the
you.
kid. Yeah, I'm the kid who would stand up in the middle of like a high school class and tell a teacher that they were wrong, and just do it very calmly and like appropriately, so they couldn't like, kick me out.
Right.
Like what you're saying doesn't make sense. I think you're wrong. Just like, and I think that what you're teaching the students is wrong, and I think it's not appropriate for you to be doing it. I do shit like that. So, and I did that in junior college too.
Oh man,
I've never been good at like not just calling people on stuff in the middle. So like I've done some shitty fucking moves.
No, I think that was one of my things too. Is for the longest time I didn't realize, like I think it was probably when I was a freshman, maybe a sophomore. Like I came to the realization, I'm like, I think I'm smarter than my teachers are. Like that was a weird realization because I kind of had this weird perception of grown-ups. Like again, I hadn't realized that grown-ups are as screwed up or more screwed up than kids are. You know, like I kind of viewed my parents and all grown-ups as a fucking people that had their shit together completely. So like I came to that realization. I'm like, why can't they answer my questions? Like, this is fucking. I think I'm actually smarter than my teachers. Yeah, it was just a weird realization, man. After viewing all adults as kind of infallible for forever.
Yeah, the realization that not everybody knows everything, and it probably isn't that you're necessarily smarter, but you're more willing to admit when you don't know stuff, and you're willing to like look for the answers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like as opposed to just brush it off with nonsense. Like people tend to go either like towards the like, no, I don't know the answer to that, or I'm not going to pretend that I do, and I'm going to try to figure it out, or like the answer to that is scary and bad, and I'm going to pretend that you shouldn't know it.
Yeah.
When it comes to the big questions, not everything, but I mean like the big questions in life.
Yeah. I kind of struggle with the how honest to be with my son on a lot of shit, dude.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely don't want to lie to him. It's just how much information I'm going to put out on certain subjects, I guess. But I've definitely explained to him that adults are not do not all have our shit together.
That I think was one of the best things my parents did for me. It was like, yeah, sometimes adults are wrong. But my mom was also really, really good at dealing with that kind of stuff on a real positive way. And so I'm not nearly as good at her as fixing that kind of stuff, like dealing professionally with people and solving things in the most mutually beneficial fashion. I think a lot of like, no, if somebody's wrong, you don't need to call them out in the middle. You know, they kind of like, here's how you can do things that are better, more socially acceptable.
Yeah, I think having to work in sales for as many years as I did helped me learn how to fucking deal with that. Sales, customer service, that kind of shit. Definitely helped me deal with because I was pretty fucking hot-headed before I started working in a fucking customer service / sales environment, and that doesn't work really well. It doesn't help your bottom line, that's for sure.
Yeah,
you know, just getting fucking angry at shit. You know, like, fuck you. Like I'm not helping you.
I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
Right.
Definitely not buying a phone.
Well, it would be the issues would more be like if you know, they had some kind of fucking issue and they pissed me off by yelling. You know, I'd be like, well, fuck you. I'm not helping you. I wouldn't say that, but I definitely wouldn't help them. You know, I'd fucking blow them off. Like, fuck you, get out of here.
I have to say, one of the things I learned very early on is that when I was dealing with customer service representatives, or something that they didn't have anything to do with, there was no point in yelling at them. And they just make your life miserable if you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, fucking, there was somebody started charging a beeper to one of my phone lines when beepers were still a thing and before cell phones were a thing at all.
Right.
And it was like $60 a month fucking charge for this beeper. And I called the phone company and I was just like, I don't know where this beeper is from. And the guy just started getting super aggressive with me. And I was really calm and respectful. I'm like, look, that's not my beeper. And I'm not going to pay for that. And he was like, oh, yeah? Well, we got your fucking voice on that thing agreeing to it. So here, listen to this. And it was some other dude entirely, like, it was like some, like, Mexican dude.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't even my name.
It should have been. Oh, wow. So it wasn't even the correct name. I don't think he even
intentionally put it on my phone number. I think it was just a mistake, clerical error.
Wow.
And boy, that guy came right back down. And he was really polite, and he was like, "Thank you for not yelling at me." And so I guess most people.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know,
and screaming.
Yeah, people don't understand that. Like, you should try to you give the people a chance to help you before you. Well, that's kind of the reverse of yours because the fucking customer service guy was an asshole. But like, there'll be people that come in just screaming and yelling, and like, dude, you don't want to. Nobody wants to fucking help you if you're going to be an asshole right from the fucking jump. Like, if your problem can't be fucking solved and you think they're not helping you when they can, you want to escalate it from that point, that's fine. But give the people a chance to fucking help you, dude, before you assume really anything.
Polite, they'll go the extra mile.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. It's really appreciated if you're being nice about it, even if the problems are really fucked up.
I may not know the right questions to ask to get the thing fixed on my gas bill, but if I'm super polite, the guy on the other end knows the whole system, and he'll walk me through saying the right things so that I get my problem fixed.
Right.
Somebody who's yelling and screaming, he might not necessarily have that kind of patience.
Yeah, and then like I said, if you know they're not helping and they're being an asshole, you can dig into them. But even then, yelling and shit's not going to help. I've definitely called people. I've definitely fucking called people out for being assholes. But yeah,
just go over their head and get the manager. I don't even waste my time at this point getting mad.
Yeah.
They're in a shitty position. They're in a shitty job. Nothing I'm going to do is make that any worse or any better. Other than just being polite. And
but again, the sarcasm would come out if they're not helping me. But yeah, I still don't yell, dude.
No, I'm definitely not going to go out of my way to be nice. But I just I don't know. At a certain point, I realized that the anger really hurts me more than anyone else.
Right. And anger and resentment. I love the line. It's a recovery one, but it's probably from somewhere else originally. Is like anger and resentment is towards another person, or even situation, whatever. But anger and resentment towards another person thing is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Like it's gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? Being angry and holding that in is gonna fuck you up, and the other person's probably not even thinking about you, dude.
Well, I think there's times when anger is extremely important, though. You're
righteous anger.
No. So anger serves a purpose. If you're in a fight with somebody or something, anger can kick your adrenaline in where fear might not. Or you might not have the fear, but if you're really angry, it can also kick your adrenaline in. And that might be the difference between winning or losing that fight, surviving or not surviving. So being angry can be beneficial in the right situation.
Yeah. I guess I'm thinking more of the resentments than anger, than just anger.
Yeah, resentment is a whole different ballgame.
Right.
That's holding on to anger. Anger is good if you can just take it in, acknowledge it, and figure out a way to deal with it in like the most beneficial way, and then let it go.
Yeah, and see, that was my issue for the longest time. Is I thought I was dealing with shit and dealing with the anger and that kind of shit. But what I was really doing was just kind of stuffing it down and not ever fucking processing it. So it's tough to know when you're actually now it's easy, but when I was younger, I had no idea that that's what I was doing. I was like, no, I thought about it for 5 seconds, so I processed it. You know, like it's that it's that fucking easy.
You know, if you're really angry at somebody, going and having a talk with your friend and like bitching about it can make a big difference too.
Yeah, just venting somewhere. Yeah, yeah.
Like being angry. Like I think everybody's angry at the whole like SJW thing right now and how crazy that's getting. And so part of the constant YouTube stuff about it and people watching the videos is, I think, partially just a way of expressing and releasing the anger.
Yeah, it's kind of a cathartic experience. Yeah, like a what do you call it? A group catharsis, dude. Just fucking.
You get to watch somebody who's really good at making fun of stuff, make fun of it, and just tear it down and it's real stupid. And it's not as big a thing in your own head anymore for a little while.
Yeah, maybe that's why you start getting tired of the fucking even the anti-SJWs after a while. You're like, no, I've vented enough about this. I don't need to hear this anymore.
Yeah,
because that definitely happened, dude.
You've worn the channel where like that channel in your brain, that sort of pathway down to the point where it's already you've already gotten it to the vent part and it's out. You're not having the big buildup that you needed the release from.
Right. Yeah.
Also, I think they're starting to kind of become similar in some cases, like in the extremeness. And I'm not sure what's going on. I mean,
the horseshoe.
Well, it's almost like they're eating their own communities in some cases. You know, like they're just. Oh, it's hard to explain. It's like the money's getting cut off from like both sides, I think, a little bit, and people are going to more and more extremes in order to make more like popular videos and stuff, and they're not really being as reasonable. Like suddenly Sargon of Akkad is yelling in every video all the time.
Oh wow. Yeah, see, I stopped following Sargon a while ago. The whole candid thing just turned me off of fucking.
He starts yelling all the time, and it's like, I don't know why you're always so angry. Like, you used to be so calm and rational and making fun of them and seem to enjoy what you were doing.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're either not really angry or you are angry, but it's off-putting.
Right.
And I still watch some of it. It's just, you know, I don't really want to hear somebody yelling and kind of raging out.
No, he was one of the first ones I followed, man, was Sargon. Actually, so was Armored Skeptic. Sargon were like my first couple.
Oh, I could never get into Armored Skeptic. He always seemed like an arrogant prick to me.
Yeah, but it was a while back. He wasn't that bad. Back before he started appearing on camera, I guess would be kind of the differentiating. Once he did fucking any kind of face reveal, I think, for some reason. From that point on, he was just a fucking jackass.
I didn't hear about him until after I heard about what's her name?
Shoe on Head.
Shoe on Head, yeah. I heard about him through Shoe on Head because I saw her thing get referenced with Thunderfoot.
Oh, yeah, Thunderfoot's another one, dude. And I got fucking tired of his fucking. I really wish he would do a separate channel for his fucking science videos, dude. I would fucking subscribe to that shit in a second, dude.
Well, he started getting real weirdly hidebound on stuff, even when he was proven wrong.
Yeah, he got really arrogant. Yeah. And I just didn't want to hear him talk about politics, dude. This SJW stuff he did fine for a long time. Like, it was him and Sargon were the main ones for a fucking really long time. And but then he started going off on politics, and then his obsession. Like, I hate fucking Anita Sarkeesian as much as anybody, dude. But man, his obsession was fucking creepy after a while, dude.
Oh, really?
It was too much, dude. It was almost constant, and like, you're not really saying anything new. Like, yeah, we know she's horrible. The people that know she's horrible already know she's horrible, and the people that don't probably never will. Like,
I never got super into him, but I stopped listening to pretty much all of his stuff after the open borders thing. where he was like, "Oh, Brexit shouldn't happen because we want open borders because then my travel is cheaper."
Right.
And it was just like,
yeah, no, he's an idiot, dude.
It's less inconvenient, and I was just
Right.
like,
I shouldn't say he's an idiot because he's obviously an intelligent guy as far as science. But
no, it was elitist. Essentially, it was sort of like my ease of travel is more important than these people like having a safe and secure country.
Yeah, no, listen to him talk about politics is horrible, dude. Like I said, I really enjoyed his science videos. That's why I wish he would create a separate channel for his stupid ass opinions, and then one for doing his fucking badass science videos, dude.
Yeah, would be interesting.
Yeah,
He's really good at science, and he had a lot of interesting science. And I liked when he debunked some of the weird shit that would pop up now and again on the funding sites, the Kickstarter and GoFundMe.
Yeah, exactly, dude. He's fucking great at that, dude. But he fucks it up by being so obsessive and, again, elitist or, whatever, dude. Like, he fucks it up by sharing his political opinions, and I don't think anybody really cares.
Well, he's super good at science, and I think he assumes that his intellect that he's worked on so much regarding science also carries over without the real work, without the same amount of work to politics and every other area.
Yeah, and again, if you're going to view politics through your own personal comfort level and nothing else, nobody's going to want to fucking listen to you, dude.
But if you've researched science and engineering constantly all the time, but you haven't researched politics and stuff, then you don't have the same level of expertise in politics and economics just because you're really good at the science and engineering.
Yeah, intelligence. I kind of fucking am guilty of that a little too. Like, I kind of assume I fucking know because I'm fucking intelligent in other areas. Yeah, I'm definitely guilty.
You can't change your mind or accept when you've been proven wrong.
Yeah,
that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah, that's the thing that I definitely am okay with. Yeah, I definitely try to keep that thought in my head of, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not fucking perfect, and that's okay. I may be wrong about this. But yeah, some people, they get locked in, and they it's the fucking pride and fucking arrogance. They don't want to admit when they fuck up, man. Yeah, in fact, that was one of the reasons I dropped Jeff Holiday too. Is like, he would say he fucked up, and but then he would make statements where it's obvious he didn't really believe that he fucked up.
Oh, really? I didn't watch. I don't watch other stuff. He's very entertaining.
No, there's things like, we made a really bad. Yeah. I'm sorry, say again.
I would say he's very entertaining. He's a very nice guy. He's not very good at science.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he tries really hard. I think he does a lot of research. I just don't think he's very smart.
Yeah, he's not as smart. He's not as sharp as he thinks he is, dude. And he's a decent guy, I'm sure.
Very smart. So I mean, like, we can smell our own. I'm a dummy about a lot of things.
Right. But yeah, no, and then I think it was the Lacey Green thing that kind of finished him off for me, where he would just
Lacey Green thing
with Lacey Green allegedly being red pilled or whatever, and he was sticking up for her, saying shit like that she never. She didn't have anything to do with the claims against like roaming millennial, like the DMCA claims. And he would be like, I think he was on Honey Badger Radio saying, well, she didn't even know that was her management company. I'm like, no, she was sending out tweets to about Philip DeFranco and shit, saying he was a drama queen. Like, it was obviously bullshit what he was saying.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he just didn't know or what, but it's the white knighting for friends. Like, no, she's my friend. No, people can't attack her. She's my friend now. Like, well, and fucking stupid, dude.
I think he was also really pushing for, like, let's not fuck this up. This is a huge thing where suddenly this person who's always been an enemy is suddenly willing to talk with us. Not agreeing with us, not being one of us, but just willing to talk.
Yeah.
And I think there was
that might be some of it, but he would also say that he would always fucking stick up for his friend. He made it pretty clear that it was because she was his friend now.
No, I'm sure. I'm just saying I think that was a big part of it too. Was this like we gotten this molehill and we got to make it into a mountain and fucking show off how awesome we are.
Like it's a big deal. Yeah. That still does crack me up. How people are like, I don't know if she's changed her mind about much. She's just willing to talk about it. But everybody was like, she's red-pilled.
Well, I think she started talking with Chris Reagan, and they ended up in a relationship. And she realized that, hey, maybe politics don't have to be 100% of my life. Mm-hmm. And I can have my political opinions, and he can have his political opinions, and they can be completely at odds. Mm-hmm. But we don't have to talk about it 24/7, and we can just be together as a couple and talk about other shit, because this is really a very small area of everyone's lives. Mm-hmm. And it's really healthy to make it 100% of your life.
Well, I guess she did. I mean, that was mainly what her channel and shit was about. Yeah. And it is hard to say what was that and what was
her original MTV. Channel. Her own personal channel, the Lacey Green channel, for the like 90% of it was just the sex videos. Mm-hmm. And it really was just informational. And she was right for the most part. Like, most of her stuff was fairly accurate. There were things she made mistakes on, but not much. Mm-hmm. And I don't think when she was ever called out on a mistake about science that she was ever unwilling to at least address it.
Right.
And the feminist stuff just was very recent. It was only like a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was more MTV than her, honestly. I'm not a fan of Lacey. I don't fucking hate her or anything, but I still think MTV had more to, you know what I mean?
MTV wrote the scripts and she went along with it and played the part on Twitter and stuff, and was probably restricted because of contracts.
Exactly. Yeah. As for Francesca, she's just a fucking hateful bitch.
Oh, I think a lot of these people are cons, just out for the money. I honestly, like, even Lacey Green, I think to an extent was just in it for the money. I don't think she had any emotional or ideological tied to that level of belief.
No, I think that had a lot to do with why she fucking was willing to talk, to be honest with you. It was more about money than anything else, than a genuine change of heart, too.
Oh, I'm sure she got a huge kick in subscribers.
Yeah.
And
she was talking about quitting YouTube and going back to school and shit before that happened. Like maybe a month before that all started happening.
Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the SJW video makers start to shift their channels back to more entertainment kind of stuff, trying to get more views and get more advertiser-friendly content.
Yeah, you know what? I've noticed that the few things that I've heard from Armored Skeptic is that kind of. It seems like he's trying to appeal to the widest possible audience somehow.
Well, he was trying to launch like Armor Skeptic reviews for like movie reviews and stuff like that to try to increase his view count and his advertisability on a separate channel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even his attitude, I don't know. I still fucking his whole fucking. You see what I did there? I used skepticism to. God, that was such it might be the cringiest thing I've ever seen, dude.
I don't watch anything on the channel.
Well, at one point he fucking most of his content. He talks a lot without really saying anything, and he's not particularly well informed, and he doesn't do a lot of research either. Like, it's pretty obvious that he doesn't really research much, and he doesn't really understand the subjects that well that he talks about.
So but at one point, but he doesn't admit it.
Yeah, kind of like what? I'm sorry.
He actually is.
Yeah, he'd make a great politician, in my opinion, because he really doesn't say much, and he talks a lot. You know, but basically at one of his videos, he's literally, I forget what the fucking thing he was so enamored with himself about was, but he kind of stops himself and he's like, no, you see what I did there? I used skepticism to, like, wow, I've never seen somebody fucking pat themselves on the back that fucking hard, dude. And it made no fucking sense. And this point, I really wish I knew. I remember the exact points, but it wasn't really anything earth shattering that he said. And he was so fucking stroking himself over it, dude. Yeah, it's pretty much like a what do you call it, a meme or whatever at this point, dude. People, I hope it never stops because it was so fucking.
Also
cringy.
claim that this one guy who'd been doing videos for like years before he got on YouTube was like a copy of him.
Oh yeah, well he would accuse everybody of being a skeptic clone, dude, and everybody's a skeptic clone. Your avatar
has clearly been doing it for longer than he had. Like his channel was created like a year before or something like that. And he'd clearly been doing the videos longer.
Yeah, if anything, he was a clone of Logic.
Yeah, that's who it was. He accused Logic of being a skeptic clone, and Logic was like, "I started my channel before you did."
Yeah, and that's the thing is they used to be really fucking cool. I mean, I guarantee you, Logic was his main influence. I can almost guarantee that Logic was Armor Skeptic's main influence.
Yeah.
But he's an arrogant. He just became an arrogant fucking prick, dude. He got lazy. Because I'm sure if you go back and watch his early videos, they're actually okay. I don't think any of it. Now that I look back on it, I don't think any of it was his original opinions. But he at least knew enough to research smart people's opinions and fucking parrot them. And now he doesn't even do that.
It's like everybody who does a skeptic channel now has a specific set of things they have to go over, and it's very formulaic. And they all have the same opinion, so it's not really that entertaining anymore.
Yeah.
I feel bad for people who are trying to start skeptic channels now who go that route. Like, I don't know if you know who Magog of Morscar is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
Amazing productions. He's very entertaining. And I think the guy is great. And I can't wait to see what he does when he's done going after everything that everybody else has already gone after.
Right. Yeah, I was one of his first subscribers, actually. I think I was like in the 70s. He only had like 70 subs when I subbed to him.
I wish him the best of success, and I can't wait until he's gone through the phase where he's done like all the stuff that everybody else already gone over. And he's going over like the new stuff because that's when it's going to, I think, be a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, honestly, I still watch everything he puts out, but you're right. It's gotten kind of tedious, dude.
I mean, the reason you can watch everything he puts out is because it's a very original take on how to present the same information, and it's much more entertaining.
Yeah, that's a great character he has, dude.
His entertainment value is a miles and miles above everyone else's like presentation.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious. Yeah, that character Poe. Do you ever watch the Midnight Drury ones?
Yeah,
they're fucking awesome, dude.
I used to make it a habit to go in and give even more disturbing advice in the comment. Like Poe would be like, "You should dump the bitch," and I'd be like, "What you should really do is hire somebody to take pictures of her and like just fucking go off on horrible tangents and just like fucking nightmare."
Like the worst advice possible, basically.
Oh, some of the stuff I said people should do is just god awful. Like probably felonious, like
maybe that's something we could do. We could look up any kind of advice column somewhere and come up with the worst advice possible for whatever the fucking people are complaining about.
That'd be hilarious.
Dude, well, like, I think obviously you'd be pretty fucking good at it, and I'd be curious to see what I could do with it.
Yeah, I think one of the ones I was saying you should do was sort of like a prank thing where you follow somebody you know around and take pictures of them from a distance. Take all the pictures, print them out, put them in a manila envelope with magazine letters on it saying, "I know what you did," and then never talk about it or say anything about it again.
Oh my god, dude. That's fucking horrible, dude.
Stuff like that, which is just like way too far.
Dude, I think you need to be locked up or something, dude. That's fucking horrible.
I know you shouldn't do it. It's funny to think about it. It's different.
All right, as long as you haven't actually acted on your fucking insanity, dude. Very good.
I don't do prank wars because I go too far. So
a little carried away. Yeah.
Some kid started fucking with me in high school a little bit, and he wrote some mean things on the back of my shirt with like a permanent marker when I wasn't paying attention. So I literally organized everyone to shun this kid for like 2 days.
Oh wow!
So it was essentially just sort of like prankish kind of things, and I just took it way too far. Like,
That's pretty serious, man.
I felt really bad about that. I ended up driving him down to go see a concert later on, so trying to make up for
it. Made amends.
Yeah, we made amends. Actually, we went to go see Lollapalooza. It's the only concert I've ever been to.
Nice. Yeah, I never went to that one, man. I always wanted to, and I've never been. The only ones I've been to. Really?
No,
just
it really
too crowded and hot.
Too crowded, too hot, and too many different stages, so that like it kind of muddied the music a little bit. And then they had to play it way too loud in the main area to drown out the other stages.
So the stages are kind of too close together, and the sound carries too much.
It wasn't well thought out.
Yeah,
but like the people in it were great. But then again, at the time, I was super straight laced.
Gotcha.
So like, yeah, Snoop Dogg gets up and starts making some jokes about weed and don't let the police get me and kind of shit. And I'm thinking they should arrest you now.
Damn, dude.
Scum.
Oh man, that's insane.
Yeah, I was a total fucking straight edge kid in high school, man.
Yeah, I still love the fact that LSD was the first drug you tried, dude. That fucking cracks me up, dude.
I think it's so fucked up. It's pretty funny.
That's insane, dude. For that to be your fucking introduction into any kind of mind-altering thing, that sounds insane to me, dude.
I think it was a good thing, though.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, as long as it didn't, you didn't flip out.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
I have seen some people flip out, and it is not fun.
By the time that it happened, I was pretty into meditation and that kind of thing, and I was really well past any of the stuff that kind of fucked me up when I was younger.
Oh yeah, and so you're pretty well centered at that point.
Yeah, I didn't, and this is before I had any anxiety issues or like any of the panic attack issues. Like I wouldn't do LSD now. That would be a terrible plan with my panic attacks and my anxiety issues. Like it might be great, or I might trigger the worst panic attack I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, and LSD it lasts too long, man. Like when I was younger, and because I did it a lot when I was younger, like probably 100 times, literally. I probably did at least 100 times.
See, I only did it like twice.
Yeah. No, I had one summer where I did it literally every other day for like 3 months. Yeah.
Oh man, I kind of wish I'd done it more when I was younger, and I still could.
Yeah, but back then, like it's good 8 to 10 hours at least that you're gonna be awake and fucking frying, and like I enjoyed it the whole time, and then like after I stopped doing that, and maybe 5 years later, I went back and used acid again, and like a few hours into it, I'm like, I'm kind of done with this. I kind of want to just go to bed. Yeah, and that's not going to happen, dude, for at least another 6 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're going to be on it for a while. You got to plan your day.
Yeah, that's why I go with the after that, I was like, all right, I'm just stick to the shrooms because I know if I want to go to sleep, I can, and even if I couldn't, it's only like 4 or 5 hours that it lasts.
Well, I think I did it about the perfect amount. Like, I still kind of wish I'd done it maybe a couple more times, but I think I did it enough that I got the benefits of it, the mind-opening aspect of like, oh, you know what?
Right.
Maybe drugs aren't evil. And maybe I've been a dick for a really long time. And I need to fucking unclench my ass.
Dude, I had the same thing, dude. And although weed kind of got me there first, but that opened me up to the possibility of like, well, weed wasn't that bad. Maybe I'll try the acid.
Yeah, exactly.
And it definitely gives you a lot of insightful thoughts and opens your mind up to new possibilities or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, it can also, man. I have a few acid stories I could fucking go and do, dude. I don't want to do monologues here. But yeah, one of these days, dude, if we're ever fucking, you know what, I'm going to put that on the list, actually. I have a list of things, like subjects, just in case. I'm going to put that on the topic ideas. Yeah. LSD stories. LSD stories. Well, yeah, that can definitely, I've got a few, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to say, I think we've been going for about 3 hours now. That's probably a good point to call it at.
Oh shit! It's been longer than 3 hours. Jesus Christ! All right.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about going for like long stories. I'm like, oh yeah, no, wait, how long have we been going?
Right.
Like, oh, maybe we should probably fucking end it for now.
Yeah, I think that's enough for now.
We've lost all our viewers.
I noticed we had 2, and I know that's me and you.
We were getting up to like 8 there for a minute. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for joining us. Untitled Studios with Day Twa Kwan, McStabby Pants here. Signing off.
Bye-bye.